Welcome back, everybody, to game number 1 of our second and our final round of 6 match, I guess you could say, for the top 4 teams in the groups, are coming out of the groups. DK versus LGD, GoDz, an all-Chinese affair, but look at what we're seeing already. DK, they're going for the Slardar for burning, they're going for the Queen of Pain for super, they are playing aggressive, we're gonna fight you head-on and kill you kind of heroes.
Yeah, really strong sort of selection of heroes, especially in response to LGD, who picked up a Brewmaster. Slardar actually can cope, he can tank it up, he can move around, he doesn't get sort of completely locked down by a hero like Brewmaster. The Cyclone can be annoying, but this is a DK line which we've seen in the past and has really worked out well for them. Leshrac, in the hands of Dai generally, has just been very well played in support, but LGD, key point, pick Xiao 8 his Keeper of the Light. We're going to be seeing that here probably as a support play with the Bounty Hunter in the offlane. DD sort of been switching over to that role. But I like what LGD have done. They haven't gone for a carry as of yet, picking up a Brewmaster very early on. It's a hero who was just so popular for such a long time, and he phased out. He didn't get nerfed. I mean, apart from maybe Black Hole finally getting to hit his primal splits, but it's a hero who is definitely viable, and I think he does fit well against the DK playstyle.
Yeah, it does. It really counters aggression, whether it's mono-leak onto Slardar, whether it's just preventing the push coming out from the Leshrac. This is a great hero to try and blunt the aggression from DK in the middle game. Let's see if they can actually pull it off. As far as the rest of the draft goes, I gotta point out, there's a Naga Siren in the pool. Neither team opted to pick or ban this yet. And you gotta figure, that's something LGD will consider. Already having Keeper of the Light, that would give them a very powerful tri-lane here. Speaking of other strong supports, which both of these teams need at least one of, there's a twin-headed dragon, neither picked nor banned.
Yeah, that's sort of been one of those really top pick support heroes. But DK opt for the Leshrac. I think they favored the Leshrac here just because of the sheer pushing power early on with the Edict. If they want to get ahead, they want to be able to increase that lead quickly. Jakiro can't quite do that the same way a Leshrac can, where you just sort of snowball out of control, taking down towers. Jakiro's just more that reliable, rock-solid support with the short cooldown Ice Path, pretty much non-existent mana cost. You can always be spamming that. DK, they know they are the stronger early game team, and if they get ahead, they want to increase that. So they go for the Leshrac. They may look for some other sort of aggressive support heroes. They can still get the Jakiro, like you say, and it's a hero which may be their secondary support here.
I'm very curious how both teams are going to complete the draft. Of course, if anyone wanted to go for something a little bit more push-oriented, something like a Lone Druid is available. You notice sort of the new flavor of the month initiating carry has been banned. The Dragon Knight. This is a hero that can give Slardar fits, tanky, even with the amplified damage, still does a decent job of surviving against that. Plus, he's got that level 16 Dragon Form, and once he gets it up, well, it gets a lot harder for Slardar to have an impact, constantly being kited and slowed. It will be banned, it won't be available, and now we're going to see what LGD go for, and it's a Lion. They pick up an extremely strong support here, lots of lockdown, but squishy, needs levels, and a hero that, if he doesn't have a good start, is just going to be total food for DK.
Yeah, he needs to have that good start. And this is kind of the alternative. They ban out the Shadow Shaman, knowing that LGD love to run these sort of heavy disable supports who maximize the pools, get XP, get some farm. They don't really have great lane presence until they get some levels. Lion does a very similar thing without the pushing power of a Shadow Shaman, but he has much more killing potential once he gets to level 6. A Finger of Death, receiving some damage buffs, a much longer cooldown, but that's kind of what you want against Slardar. You want to be able to burst him down as quickly as possible. If he's too afraid to run in because of Lion having a Finger of Death up, then great. Slardar is so much more limited in what he can do. Positioning, though, for Lion is going to be very hard against burst damage from Queen of Pain and Slardar. And it's a pick which is risky, but if it works for LGD, it can really shine here.
Yeah, I'm really glad you bring that up, and it's going to be up to DDC or Xiao 8, probably Xiao 8 Keeper of the Light, which would be the DDC Lion. Generally plays that 5 position for the team, which means a line that's not even the secondary support. He would be the primary one, so we'll see. Maybe they'll switch those roles up just a little bit. It has been Xiao 8 generally getting a bit more farm than DDC, and, well, Lion, I hear you'd love to get some items on the mid-game, like that Shadow Shaman, items like a Blink Dagger, even just something defensive, and they go for the Sylar Lone Druid. This is a pretty scary death ball. You've tracked to make everyone chase better. You've Panda and Lion to kind of lock heroes down. Keeper of the Light to punish clumping up, to punish tower diving to a certain extent. And now you get your tanky front line carry that scales pretty well. Early in the laning stage is rather killable, but what do you think about this Lone Druid pick? Is this LGD still stuck sort of in the past, in the mindset of the 6.74B metagame, or is there a way to make this Lone Druid fit in against an aggressive lineup like what DK has?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, in some ways it is somewhat stuck in the old patch, but that was where LGD shined. That was where LGD just dominated teams left, right, and center until finally they got met up with Na'Vi and then narrowly fell against IG at TI2. They've mixed in some of the LGD of old, but they've combined it with the new flavors. The Bounty Hunter pick, the aggressive Brewmaster. They've got the support to really shine in this current metagame, especially the Keeper of the Light pick, which I really like to see here. And I think Sylar, I mean, it's Sylar on the Lone Druid. It's his best hero. I'd say that is his best hero, hands down. And that is something which LGD want to just get their hands on. So Venomancer, the last pick for DK, opting just for a safe support hero. Not going for the Jakiro, but Venomancer does give them slightly more map control with the Plague Wards and just a slightly stronger lane presence, more aggressive as well with that Gale.
Yeah, and as far as the teams go, let's do a proper introduction for all the players, and just going to remind you to double-check your in-game mic. I know it's been on the fritz for some of us, but it looks good for me. Signature for Burning at this point. He's starting off with Dust of Appearance. He's done this. He did this previously the last time he laid against the Bounty Hunter. Speaking of that Bounty Hunter, if I recall correctly, there was a first blood given up immediately. This was they were on the Radiant side instead of the Dire, but pretty much the same thing. Kung Fu Panda going to be handling that Windrunner pick. And that would be 357, I believe. Or wait, no. Who is that? Is that RTK? RTK playing the Windrunner. Then we have QQQ or 357 on the Venomancer. Sentry Ward's already picked up. So Sentry Wards and Dust really want to shut down Bounty Hunter. That's something I'd say DK have done a great job of when they played against that hero, is shutting him down completely. Super on the solo mid Queen of Pain. And MMY as the Leshrac. For the moment, you expect the offlane Windrunner, but maybe are they thinking about something more aggressive?
Well, I think they may be thinking about offlane. Where I love look at this. Lone Druid sent his bear way up top, and it's actually going to get caught out here. I don't know if they can do enough damage to deal with it, but he's trying to do that to help the Bounty Hunter at top lane, maybe pulling the creep wave away. And DK are going to go on a big chase trying to deal with this, but they don't have the damage. They just want to prevent it from getting to that top lane to pull the creep wave down. Similar how you play the offlane Lone Druid. You can do that with a Bounty Hunter and just have the Lone Druid send his bear up there.
Had a bit of a lag spike there. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. I didn't really catch too much actually with the bear. I saw the initial engagement. It does escape, which is the big thing. So he's still got the cooldown available. Could use it to help pull for the Bounty Hunter, like you said, but no longer going to be an option. I want to point out this lane ward from LGD. This is something we've seen LGD do a couple of games now. They don't like to put their lane ward up near the tower, worried about it getting dewarded, so they've started sort of recessing it deeper into the lane. Somewhat similar, although not as extreme from DK, and look at the trap being set already. The Sentry Ward is placed. Shao-Wei has to be so careful. It's actually not a Shao-Wei keeping the life. He might get caught, though. There's the Gale to start, and the Split Earth to follow. Shao-Wei is so royally screwed. On top of it, the Slither Crush, and this should be our first blood. Shao-Wei will drop. DK do it again. A first blood within seconds of a Bounty Hunter entering a lane. Boy, oh boy, I don't know if LGD watched those replays.
Well, LG, I mean, it kind of goes to show they're not a team who were entirely sure what they want to do. It's Zhao Wei back on the Bounty Hunter. DD and Zhao have been switching roles throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's Zhao Wei back on the off lane and gets picked off there as sort of unnecessarily. He knows he's up against the trial and he should expect sentries and Duster, but does get caught out there. And with this, he's going to have a really tough time finding any openings, any way of getting XP and farm. And you mentioned Burning loves his Midas. Well, he's going to get a very fast one now with that first blood.
Yeah, I won't be surprised at all if I see it. And you kind of need it if you want to go later on in this game. Otherwise, there's no way you can keep up with the Lone Druid's farm rate. And of course, when Bernie plays this Slardar, it's not really like a traditional one position. It's he'll farm for a certain amount. And Super's gonna kill the courier. Blinks in one auto attack. Yao miss handling of the courier, and off the bat, DK scored not just a first blood, but also a courier kill. GoDz, it seems like they're showing maybe some nerves in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's more gold going to Burning's Midas. He's now already up to 1k gold in just 2 minutes. It could be one of the fastest Midas you've ever seen on a Slardar. And
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, things starting to fall apart a bit for LGD. Bounty Hunter, he's managed to pull a creep wave all the way from the top lane, trying to bring it back to his tower where he can farm safely, but it's really struggle town right now for LGD.
Shao-Wei can't even get this Invis rune, and in fact, they might be able to kill him. They have a Sentry Ward. Oh, this is bad. If Shao-Wei dies again, Dust is pop, Split Earth to follow. 2 kills on the Bounty Hunter and a courier kill. DK already with an outrageous lead. And where is the response? They're not getting one, because look at what ROTK is doing. He's just playing extremely safe on the suicide lane, farming the Ancients, and this is the benefit of being a 600 range hero. You can do this from level 1. You don't need to stack them. You don't need to get a Soul Ring like a Beastmaster does, and spam axes quite a few times. So he's getting safe experience, safe farm, and the good news for LGD is Sylar is free farming, and he's actually out farming Bernie by just a touch so far.
Yeah, Silo's got to be. I mean, regardless of what LGD did, Lone Druid was always going to be farming here. I think the support heroes for LGD are just not mobile enough. They can't really gank and alleviate any of this pressure on the other lanes. And here comes DK mid lane. Venomancer with an Invis rune. And this could be bad for Yao. He's tanky, but I just don't feel he's going to be tanky enough for this.
Yeah, this is going to be trouble. He does have a point in Drunken Brawler, so there's a chance he'll get away, but this is not going to be an easy fight. Now, also keep in mind, if he gets a clap off on either of these heroes under the tower, especially the Venomancer, that clap has a really powerful slow. We could see it turn the other way. Even if Yao doesn't die, though, it's just about the pressure. He's being pressured on the top lane, the Bounty Hunter. It's not just pressure. He's basically being thrown into a nuclear reactor and compressed or something. It's way beyond that for him. And they're shutting down 2 of these lanes, so they're winning those 2 in that sense. And they're getting something out of that suicide lane, where so far, Shao, he's only got 62 experience. He's actually falling quite a bit behind, even though the lane is pushing towards him.
Yeah, he's really struggling a bit here, and he needs to just get whatever XP he can at this top lane. I mean, for Zhao Wei not getting any levels here, he's just been sort of poking around the jungle, and they've really just kept him out of lane. The sentries, the dust, everything about this from DK, they know how they want to deal with the bounty. They've got a clear set plan in mind, and LGD can't really be set entirely. I mean, the Brewmaster early picks seem to be part of what they wanted to do here, but it just, with the Bounty Hunter offlane getting this badly shut down, it now hurts the other lanes as well. It allows Venomancer to roam mid, possibly get a kill here. It'll be close, I think. Brewmaster has a lot of HP, but regardless, I mean, you mentioned it's just pressure. It forces Yao out of the lane, it forces him to go heal up, maybe do some more bottle crowing, and Super just gets a bit of a stranglehold over this mid lane.
Tough position to be in. We have a bit of a pause here. It looks like QQQ is reconnected, disconnected a few times. We might as well check pings while we have a moment. Expect DK to have slightly higher pings. I don't think they've moved to their new house in Shanghai yet. I could be wrong about that. I know they were planning to, and that the pings are apparently significantly better, although the accommodation's not as nice as the Beijing house where they've been. Pings seem pretty even, so must just be a PC issue or some sort of individual thing, since I expect they're all playing on LAN together. Alright, bad start for LGD, GoDz. That's pretty fair to say. Bounty Hunter shut down, Yao being zoned out. He does have his bot on his boots, so not horribly behind by any reason, but just not having a fun time mid. Is it all up to Super, or are there other things that LGD can be doing to kind of stabilize and get back into this game? Not Super, Sylar, I mean.
It's Yao. Oh, I don't think it's all up to Sylar. I mean, Sylar's just going to keep on farming and doing what he's doing now, just keep on doing his best to out-farm heroes like Slider, Queen of Pain, not miss a single creep. I'd say it's all up to Yao, this mid-Brewmaster. He's the only hero for this LGD side which can really change the pace of this game. Bounty Hunter, if he was level 3, level 4, and could maybe go gank some lanes, I mean, even a level 3 Bounty Hunter can poke at mid lane, poke at the Queen of Pain, help out the team, but he's level 1. He's not got any chance of really contributing for a good while. Yao, the only hero for LGD with all levels and potential for ganks around the map. Keeper of the Light's a bit too passive to do much. Lion needs his levels, so I'd say this game at this point is resting in Yao's shoulders.
Burning has his Midas, by the way. The Gloves of Haste are on the... Okay, it says he has 1,900 net worth. That's counting the items he already has. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be... It looks like more of like a 3.5, 4 minute Midas. That is still insane. I mean, a fast Midas timing is like, what, 5, 6 minutes? Maybe if you get a first blood and you're farming really well, then you could have it a little bit sooner. But with the courier kill and the first blood and almost perfect, well, not perfect, but pretty good last hitting, 5 CS per minute, and he's got one more wave to work with, so I think it's actually going to be closer to 6 CS per minute once this is done. This is tough. With Burning having this fast of a Midas, it means he's going to have all his core items up in a timely fashion. If you're farming normally and not at a really high level, he's still going to have pretty early treads. We've also seen he goes for cost-efficient items after the Midas. He doesn't try to rush something big like a Blink. He'll get a Drums instead, or a Bracer, just so that he can start diving and fighting immediately. So it's not just the hero that's a little bit different for Burning, but I feel like it's also the way he's itemizing him and playing him that's quite a bit different.
Yeah, it
compared to what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's complete opposite of the past. If you go back 2 months TI2, it's like, okay, let's get Burning Antimates. Let's get him Lone Druid. Let's watch him get a fast Battle Fury and just farm. No, don't even go... When he plays Antimates, he doesn't focus on coming to engagements. It's purely on pushing out lanes and split pushing, getting up huge items while his team just do whatever they do. So it's a completely different style of play from Burning, and it's really a sight to see that he can just so easily adapt his playstyle into this more sort of ergonomic style play where he's getting these cost-effective items, he's getting much more involved. He's been in the majority of the DKs. I think as far as all their players goes, he's in more kills than any player on his team as far as kill involvement.
Yeah, I think he does have the high. It's an even higher kill participation rate than Zhou, and Zhou has been played incredibly well, but. You know, the thing with IG is they often just win the game before he even finishes farming his basic items. In a lot of their more one-sided affairs, that was the case. Not the case at all in the Orange series, but before that in the group stages. So, at this point, Super's having a good start. Probably going to be able to control the runes this game, especially with the amount of pressure that these supports are applying towards mid. And it looks like SC or DD is going to be rotating in towards the middle lane, so this probably is just a temporary measure to make sure, or to try to limit the damage onto Yao. But do they have, I mean, can DK, it seems like DK can just afford to leave 2 heroes top, and at this point, with Burning having a good start, with the Sentry Wards, MMY and Burning probably can just keep him down by themselves, which allows them to do things like dual lane mid, or just do a ton of pulling up top, and this may force DD to rotate away from that bottom lane and not get as much experience as he would like.
Yeah, I think they want to maybe stick with this dual lane setup a bit for at least for the time being. Venomancer just a great hero to have to pressure Brewmaster like we're seeing at mid. Even if they don't get the kill now, he just stays around, keeps on pressuring. Leshrac can get levels, and once Leshrac has maybe level 2 Edict, even maybe waits for level 5, that's when they can just go push this top lane. Bounty Hunter can do nothing to defend it. So Venomancer going to pressure mid for a bit, then they return top to start pushing away this top lane, because I think what DK want to do is just get 2 very fast towers at top. The tier 1 will drop once they have Edict, at level 2 probably, then they can get that tier 2 not long after, unless LGD rotate heroes like Keeper of the Light top. Maybe that's what SC's thinking now, head top, because the push is going to be coming soon with the Leshrac.
No idea what the players are saying, but they continue to have some issues with getting connected into this game and hopefully having ping that they're happy with. Just an interesting moment. I think this is going to tell us a lot about what kind of a team LGD is now. If they can come back from this, or at least make it a really decent back-and-forth game. Sure, they've got a great mid-game lineup. They have heroes that can handle the game well, but you got to figure, well, the blink in on Yao. Yao might be dead. He needs to evade a lot more than what he's evading. This is not going to cut it. Oh, no luck for this guy. I don't even know if he evaded a single auto attack there, and he will drop. Probably was going to die anyway. You can't count on, what is it, the 10%, but hey, not his best day, and, well, he gets shut down, Bounty Hunter shut down. It feels like it is going to be coming down to these supports to make a big impact.
Yeah, a lot of LGDs here is just in a bit of trouble here. Zhao finally gets his level 2 at top lane, and here comes Venomancer says, okay, I got 1 kill, let's go back top. Level 2 Plague Wards are up. Level 2, no, he's gone for level 2 Splitter, so about to be once he's level 4, he'll have that second point in Edict, and then this top lane will just crumble very fast. Bounty Hunter Zhao just already looking to sort of scout out these runes and almost abandon this top lane.
Look at how fluidly DK transitions. As soon as the Keeper of the Light was spotted rotating towards mid, immediately RTK leaves the Ancients and comes into the lane to get some levels, get some farm. He knew it wasn't safe before. Now he's level 2, so I suppose it's a little bit harder to kill him. Although he did have Wind Run at level 1, if I remember correctly. So either way, just the instant that he sees an opening bottom, as soon as he spots the rotation, the pressure mid creates freedom for RTK. It's not just what DK is doing in one lane, it's how they understand the impact it has on the other lanes and react immediately to take advantage.
Yeah, and D-Ward in the lane ward, even with it being further down the lane, the Sentry Ward does catch it out in that bottom lane, and with that, he can just get in range, maybe power shot 1 creep, get 1 creep hero there. Line doesn't know when he's power shotting from Fog, so it's got him. I mean, he's only got 5 creep kills, but that's maybe 3-4 creep kills less than what more than what he'd have without that Sentry Ward there.
Courier respawns. It has boots and wards on it. I don't know if it had either of those when it was delivering. I think not, since it died on the way back. Yao does have his boots, does have his bottle. He's getting close to level 6. Now, the question is, what can he make happen with this ultimate? They don't really have much setup for his ult, and I almost feel like DK can just run away when they see him. Yeah,
he's the sole initiator. He's got to get at that blink dagger as fast as possible. The Keeper of the Light does not really offer much in terms of initiation or some kind of follow-up disables or slows. It's only the Lion they've really got, but Lion's not a hero they can afford to have running in, looking to set things up, and I think it's hard. It's going to be really hard for LGD. It's going to be all about panicking up that fast blink dagger, but he still needs other items before that. I mean, you're looking at maybe magic wands, his phase boots, something else first, and it's going to be an uphill battle for LGD.
Oh, Xiaowe's caught. This is looking bad for him. Sprint for Burning. Level 2 already needs that crush. He will find it. Amplify damage, giving them vision. Now the splitter to follow. Xiaowe dies for a 3rd time. And honestly, the real trap may not be picking the Invoker as LGD, it may be picking the Bounty Hunter against DK. They seem to have all the answers for this hero, and they're doing it not just against any team, but against LGD, a very solid team for the most part, and also Xiao, who's normally one of the most stable and consistent off-lane players. A third death for him.
Yeah, a lot of pressure going at him. A lot of focus is shutting him down. The question for me is, will DK put any attention into dealing with Lone Druid, or are they just going to let him get what will probably be about a 17-minute Radiance unless they send heroes bottom soon? I think once maybe Slaughter, Leshrac, they get their sort of level 7, level 8, once they start pushing down more towers, once they get these top towers, they rotate bottom, they deal with this Lone Druid. Because if they keep leaving Lone Druid alone, this Radiance timing is going to be very, very scary.
Yeah, it could even be close. It could even be sooner than that 16 to 17 minute mark. Possibly, I wouldn't be shocked if he has the relic by, say, the 12 minute mark. Maybe even a touch sooner. Burning is out farming him though with the Midas, and having a Midas this early means it's going to be a long time before that Radiance really makes up for the amount of farm Burning's going to get. The Midas is going to pay for itself by the 20 minute mark, probably even sooner. Maybe even more like that 17 minute mark. Plus, it's not just the gold you got to consider. Attack speed helps a bit on Slaughter as he does have bash. More importantly, it's the levels. Slaughter's going to have that level 2 amplify damage up really quickly, and one interaction we haven't talked about, that amplify damage makes the bear a lot harder to keep alive. That spirit bear is rather squishy when amplify damage is on it.
They've just got a lot to help. I mean, if he's even when he gets that fast range, if he just sends it in, you've got the slow from the Queen of Pain, from the Venomancer, you've got a Leshrac stun, the amp damage. There's so much ability to focus it down, a shackle shot on top of it, that even with these heroes fairly low level and not with big items, they can still kill that Spirit Bear with 4 or 5 heroes if they want to group up and go for those bushes.
Sylar's up to 2,500 gold. Sentry Ward, a fresh one placed in the lane. Look at this, but this is just a really impressive defensive play by RTK. He's match state level 4, he's constantly placing sentry wards in the lane. In fact, he's got his arcane boots. Now that all largely comes because of the tower kill and the courier kill. The courier, of course, being killed mid, the tower top, but nonetheless, he's got arcane boots up, and he's almost got the level 3 power shot, and that's the point where Windrunner really does a great job of shutting down pushes, plus even just against heroes like Lion, they're squishy. One power shot takes, or Keeper of the Light, takes away about half of your health.
Yeah, this is really a different ROTK than we've seen in the past in that side lanes. He's been shaky in some games, but right now he's playing this picture perfectly. He's going to find another observer which he can deward. And yeah, really this line's been completely kept out of this bottom lane. DDC, I mean, he's getting the levels. He's level 5.5 now, getting close to that level 6 mark, but he hasn't found any kills, any openings whatsoever. He hasn't even come close to finding a chance to initiate on this winner at bottom lane.
Oh, he almost had a moment there, but RTK throws out the power shot from the side shot. Now he's going to scout things out. And this is also the Keeper of the Light. We talked about all his strengths. One of his weaknesses is he's not a great sort of ganking hero killer, especially against someone like Windrunner, where unless you have a highly leveled Monolith, you can't stop her from just running away. Here comes the TP, and DK want to get aggressive. Burning already has a Blink Dagger, a 9-minute Blink. He never went for the Midas like we expected. And I think I talked about it as though he had it. Whoops, I assumed he was going to go for one, but actually he's just got Treads on a Blink. They just want to force the issue now. Level 7 already, and this could be the death of that Lone Druid, although he does have his ult up, and wisely Sylar is sitting around in bear form.
Yeah, Sylar wants to just stay as far back as possible. This is DK. They've decided to react now, and it's come in the form of Burning with a Blink Dagger, and it's going to be hard to bring down Sylar. The 2 heroes alone not going to be enough. Even Windrunner just level 4 at this point. So Burning, not entirely wasting, but just spending a lot of time here, not really achieving much at this point. Even if he goes in on Sylar, DDC is there, ready to back him up.
Yeah, good positional play by DDC, and sitting pretty far back as well. Top lane Xiao is being forced off. I think he was dusted. He was. The Gale is just going to miss. Barely outside of range. Xiao has sort of... He's plugged up the leaks a little bit, hasn't been dying too much. The tower dropped in the top lane, and that's given him some farm, as well as the fact that Burning's left that lane. This is a little uncharacteristic for Burning, spending so much time on a gank, also getting the early blink. We expected a little bit more of a farming Slardar, but he really wants to make something happen, and God, it's already been 2 minutes or so at this lane.
Yeah, it's spending a lot here. He's really committed. He finally decides to TP out, goes towards the top lane. I think LGD, some just great map wins from them. Even getting D-Ward, the lane ward there. I think Burning was willing to wait that long just because he knew he had not walked past the ward. He's like, okay, there's no way they know for sure I'm here, but LGD, Sylar, just with a 6th sense for danger.
Yeah, they're playing really well. Chat, of course, is going ballistic because I said there was a Midas, which there isn't, but Blink in. They're going to catch Xiao. Split Earth to follow this up, and it will be another kill. So Burning Why mess with a good thing? Just stay on this top lane, continue to collect kills on Xiao 8.
Yep.
Xiao 8 almost level 6, almost this track. But I don't know, how many easy kills are there in this game? Venom, a lot of these heroes, if you dive them and they hit you with any of... bottom lane, this should be a kill. There's your Finger of Death. The 170-second cooldown, or 60 now, as it was recently reduced in 6.76, has finally been used, so we can wait 3 minutes and see another Finger of Death. Burning gets the tower top. That's an Ogre Club, that's a Vitality booster, something to help him tank. Yikes.
Well, that's what LGD were waiting for. Get the line level 6 and they know they can get this kill at bottom. It's also now Sylar. He's got 4k gold. He's got an 11-minute relic. He's going to have the Radiance up, 14 minutes maybe at this rate. Oh! Vander and Brewmaster has gone in at me. He's going to get QQQ with the help of Keep the Light Blast. Great initiation coming from him. He's gone straight Blink Dagger, and that's what I'm talking about. Yao is going to be the only hero who can control this mid-game, and he does that by going straight Blink Dagger. I think it's the only way that LGD can stay in this game is by getting that super fast Blink Dagger. Yeah, and they have this pick-off ability now, especially the counter-initiation of the Blink Dagger. You can jump in first, and some of these supports will be easy kills, but especially if DK gets caught trying to tower dive, I think Panda may be the single best hero in Dota to punish that when his ult is up. He's got 2 ways to lock you down. He burns you with the Immolation. He's got the buff removal that comes out from that wind Panda. It's just such a dangerous hero to get over-aggressive against. Plus, there's Track to punish that, there's the Illuminate to punish it, and there's Entangle. LGD, they do have a very strong defensive lineup if they're in the right positions, if that Panda ult is up, and so far the positional play has been good, but here comes the 4-hero smoke gang. Birdie's going to start sprinting his way in there, and he's going to catch out DD. DD will die, only losing that hero, not the biggest deal. The big problem will be if they lose more, if they lose this tower. Burning's still on the move, they need an Entangle, they're not going to find it. He has another Slither Crush, jukes away from the Impale, beautiful juke by Burning. Can he get in range? Can he really chase this any farther? It looks like the answer to these questions is no, but they may get a tier 1 off of this. In fact, with Edict here, they almost certainly will. Well, LGD, I mean, pretty much, it's not really their intended strategy, but Lone Druid's been allowed to just get all this free farm because he's using his allies as shields. There it's Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light takes the fall, while, I mean, it's a 4-man smoke gate. They get a Keeper of the Light, they get a tower as well, but what they really wanted was this Lone Druid. Before that, it was Bounty who just kept getting killed over and again at top lane, but that's just buying space for this Lone Druid to farm, to get that fast Relic, get the fast Radiance. LGD are falling behind in gold, towers, map control, but it's all for this Lone Druid. It's all up to Sylar to carry them late game and the Brewmaster to control this mid game, make sure that they can actually fight and defend. So it's a not really a winning type of strategy, but it's something which it still has a small chance of succeeding. The problem is DK are just getting such huge item progression because of all this space they have to farm and do whatever they want.
Yeah, and they have some great, well, there we go. It's the early Roshan. I think this is the biggest reason why they've been favoring the Slaughter, is if you start winning, if you get ahead, Roshan is cake. Amplify damage, just choose through him so quickly. Xiao 8 waiting in the wings. Is there a Sentry Ward placed down? There is not, so he'll have some access to get in here. They're recalling in the Lone Druid, I believe. They're going to have all 5 Illuminate being channeled. Roshan will drop. Aegis will be picked up by Burning. They're all rather low. Do you jump in here? Panda grabs a haste, and then Yao really kind of a buzzkill. Just runs away after that. In fact, Keeper of the Light will just blind that Slardar, pushing him back. Oh, sorry, he wasn't... God, I always get those animations, Victor. But no, DD didn't use recall. He just went into spirit form, and... Oh, I'm never going to learn those animations. They look really similar to me.
Yeah, it's confusing. Very confusing. And
don't baby me, gods.
I'm on your side, LD. It's confusing. You cast Chakra, and it's like, oh, did he Chakra himself, or did he use Recall if he's in ulti form? I don't know.
Need colors.
It's hard to know. What I do know is that Sylar is getting ridiculously farm right now. He's almost got his Radiance up. And LGD, I mean, not only that, their support heroes haven't... I mean, sure, they haven't really been involved in kills and stuff, but look at this SC. DD's almost got a mech up on Keeper of the Light. These is useful items. This is something where they can actually fight with the Blink Dagger on Brewmaster. So even though DK are ahead and have more items, it's got to the point where LGD are still in this with a chance if they can get the positioning right. The
big deficit for them is the gold at this point, but you have a bounty hunter. So if you win a few fights, suddenly that gold deficit will dissipate. as well as the towers being a significant factor. If LGD get a couple kills with this lone druid, they get a couple towers, and between track gold, between tower gold, they'll be right back in it. At the same time, it is quite a significant advantage for DK. Super's going to have a Hex up soon. Ultimate Orb already complete. I love this Scythe of Vice Rush when you're ahead. Just give you that lockdown, give you that way to sort of deal with Panda so he can't drop the ultimate. If he's got really fast reactions, he can Hex him as soon as he blinks in. That could be big trouble. Also, Burning's going to have a BKB soon. And between Super and Bernie being BKB Bernie being this big, it's going to be tough. It is going to be hard for Yao to find the right moment to drop an ult. But if he can do it, that'll help LGD out quite a bit. I don't know about this decision. I don't think they can afford to force a fight at the tower, but they're going to try for it. I guess they feel with this Panda ult up and the Radiance now, nothing can stop them.
Yeah, I don't feel this is the timing for them either. With Radiance alone, Venomants are great at stalling with the Plague Wards. DK with plenty of items, plenty of levels up, and it's not going to be a straightforward push for them. Burning's got a TP scroll. He can just go TPing right into the front lines. He's got his blink to help chase. He's got sprint maxed out. This is not going to be I feel a winning fight for LGD, even with all their ultimates are.
It's now become a meme apparently in the chat where Burning gets a free hidden Midas every time the game starts. Because I was so. We were so convinced he would build one.
Farm, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Treads, Blink, Ogreax. We're just like 15 minutes in this game. He had the fastest Treads and Blink dagger I've ever seen, so I think there was a built-in Midas on his hero. It's like how some heroes in Dota 1 and Warcraft 3, you had like a passive ability, which you don't even have to level up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The heroes who can just, like, the Night Elf heroes who can just go invis during nighttime, he's got a Midas effect on whatever hero he plays.
Crouching, Burning, Hidden Midas. I think that's the new... That's part 2 of that particular video series. Well, wisely, they back up. They force DK to have 4 heroes defending. And if you're trading farm a lone druid for a Slardar, I think they'll be okay with this. They still have hold on to their tier 1 mid, and this is absolutely crucial for map control. Once this tower drops, GoDz, it just gives DK so much freedom to start setting up ganks, also to get that early gem up on the supports, which I expect to see in the next couple of minutes, either on QQQ, perhaps on the Leshrac, although it looks like he's going for a 4-staff, Yule Scepter perhaps. Yule Scepter as well is a pretty nice item against Lone Druid's Bear, but yeah, I think if they can keep on holding on to this tier 1, they still have a decent amount of map control, but if this drops, if they lose a fight, it gets really tricky for them to farm.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised DK haven't got a gem yet. Normally these Chinese teams are so proactive in getting, as soon as they get ahead, it's like, let's buy a gem, let's deward the entire map. Add on to that you've got a bounty hunter on the other side of the map. This is a perfect game. You want to shut down any map control that LGD can have, make it harder and harder for them to farm. So no gem as of yet, but like you say, it's probably going to be coming up very soon on 357 with that Venomancer.
Yeah, as far as other item progression goes, it looks like Xiaoweight's getting close to his treads. I assume that's what we're going to see out of him, so just getting the Bracer, the treads, just anything to tank up. The issue when you play against a hero like Slardar is, once he gets to level 11, you can have 1400 HP, and you're still going to die in like 5-6 auto attacks and a Slither and Crush. You need so many items to deal with him. Burning, surging in. He wants to jump on SC. He doesn't see him channeling this Illuminate. This is going to be a nice way to slow down the push. Track applied to Burning. That's very important. They'll at least have some vision. SC's getting a little cocky. I don't know about the positioning. Now going to stay a bit farther back, tucked behind the tower. They did see one hero top, so they know the Queen of Pain wasn't there. Now Super is. That Scythe of Vice coming out. It's going to be under 20 minutes, it looks like, and that is a really fast Scythe of Vice timing. In fact, it's Super who... We've seen him in the past, in previous games for DK, play a very aggressive, constantly killing enemies kind of Queen of Pain, but this is a different game. It calls for a different, more sort of softer, more patient touch, and he's showing it. He's getting that Scythe of Ice. He's not forcing fights that his team can't win, and he's going to have it soon.
He knows that LGD, with their positioning, are just very, very meticulous. They're not giving up anything. I mean, from Keeper of the Light using his Illuminate in mid lane, like you saw there, where Burning sprints in, going high ground, expecting there to be heroes at the tower that he can blink on and go for kills because he's got the Aegis, he can take those risks. But Keeper of the Light's in the fog. The positioning is just really precise from LGD. Queen of Pain not giving any openings. So, well, Super says, okay, I'll just farm. I'll get this 19-minute sheep tickets now up on Super, and with that, these next few fights for them are going to be pretty scary looking. And there's a smoke up as well, so DK really want to make something happen now.
Yeah, no BKB on Burning just yet. I wonder, age is about to expire, so that's why we're seeing the aggression. No time to wait, and a little unfortunate they have to force the issue, at least for their perspective. Double smokes, Xiaoweight's going to get revealed on the low ground. Slither and Crush, I think he meant to blink first. Oh no, bit of a mistake from Bernie. Now the Panda ult will be popped. Xiaoweight's low. MMY is going to get entangled, picked off, caught out of position and brought down. Now QQQ. Gale onto the low Jura just to try and slow him down. The Panda wind aspect driving the back, so they only get one, but they get one and they dodge the bullet. Now the next time the team fight happens, there won't be an Aegis on Burning. Pretty big victory there for LGD.
Yeah, get one, get the track gold as well. Stall. I mean, for LGD, it's all about stalling. Lone Jura with just a Radiance isn't quite ready to farm. I mean, he wants maybe some additional... Oh, he's got the boots now on the Spirit Bay. Maybe wants the Vlad's up. He wants to start getting whatever tanky little items he can get for himself and his bear. The Assault Crest will be coming up a bit later on as well. It's still a matter of LGD needing more time for these heroes. Heroes like Bounty Hunter just wants the jump of Endurance. Brewmaster, he's got the level 11 now, so LGD do have a pretty strong team fight with Yao, with that initiation coming from him.
Yeah, if you look at the graphs, they've really stabilized. The big difference is gold, but a lot of that just goes back to the Roshan and then the towers. DK still hasn't lost a tower. This is one of those games where if LGD win a big fight, all of a sudden, you just see the gold graph go directly upwards like it's a rocket shooting into space, because the towers fall and you get the hero kills and you get the track gold. So I think the key to why LGD isn't falling apart here is that they've held on to this tier 1. This tower being up, it's not just about this lane being safer. It really limits the gank paths and the different points of access that DK has into the jungle. And look at MMY, all the wards being placed, but it's this gosh darn Keeper of the Light by himself that just makes it impossible to push.
No, it's amazing how important this T1 tower has been, like you say, for LGD. It's just crucial for them. And LGD are just buying time to get those item after item up. And I think something that it goes to show with the gold graphs, it has stabled out around this 7k mark. And it's with the new metagame, it's a 7k gold lead spread between all 5 of those heroes because of all that tower gold. If this is something like an anti-mage of Burning and you've got an 8k gold lead and all that gold lead is in one hero, then you're in trouble if you're LGD. But because the gold is being spread between the supports, the semi-carries, it's actually not making a huge difference. There's no massive items up, apart from maybe the Queen of Pain with a sheep stick now. BKB is coming soon for Burning, but it's not like there's one hero with a ridiculous amount of farm who's going to carry it late game for DK. It's a much more even load, and I think that actually favors LGD, who have the Lone Druid.
That's true. Something that was pretty cute earlier. Yao had this illusion from his Panda. Tried to deny the tower, just narrowly missed it. The new Roshan's coming up soon, and DK, they want to win a team fight, get that tier 1 mid, and then have full map control for Roshan. So part 2, smoke gank, about to happen. And look at LGD, they scatter, they scurry away at what could be exactly the right moment. So the tier 1, or what is I talking about? Yeah, the tier 1 already dropped, but DK still trying to get even more map control for this game. Yao, gotta blink away, blinks away, but into the shackle. It does follow you after you blink. Yao's gonna get assassinated, even with the mech. Needs to evade everything. No! He gets the Panda ult off! MMY now on the run. Shrek onto him. Xiaowei wants to kill. Illuminate cleans it up. What a turnaround. Now the Cyclone onto the Windrunner. Up in the air. DDC's got the ult. This could be another hero dead. Where's that Finger of Death? They're gonna unload. He's actually holding it. He's waiting for a third kill. Sylar in the middle of the fight. Bernie jumps in. Again, being controlled by the Panda. Thrown up in the air. Bernie trying to apply the amplified damage. Blinking forward to Super. In the back line. Still everybody low. Nobody dead. And Super's being brought down. 3 heroes dead. LGD with an amazing turnaround. And what do you know? They do it right as Roshan's about to respawn. Track onto Burning. He will barely escape. And QQQ survives. What a fight. That looked like a disaster for LGD.
This is the LGD I put my tangles on. They really recovered well in that fight and just showed that you don't need these big item lead to take these fights. Burning, it just couldn't find... They didn't have enough damage to do with the Brewmaster, and once he got the ultimate off, the fight just turned around. Lion never even ended up using this Finger of Death. I'm watching him, they go on the Queen of Pain, but he's like, no, I don't want to use my finger, I'll just use a Hex and Impale. It's slightly more mana cost. He still had the mana for his Finger of Death, but all they needed was those disables. So just really great use of their skills. They don't overkill any hero. They just manage to throw just enough to kill a hero one by one, and they trade really well. They may still lose Roshan here to DK, but I feel they're in a much better position now, having won that fight.
Yeah, LGD in a really solid position. Look at Sylar. He's just getting these extremely cheap items to help tank up. He's got the chainmail, but instead of putting it on the Spirit Bear, he puts it on the hero. That helps deal with the Lone Druid's amplified damage. He's got the cloak as well. There's a lot of magical damage in this game. And like you said, Roshan respawning. DK are working on this, but this fight is going to be tough. Now they know the Panda ult is down, so that's a big thing in their favor. It actually may be difficult for LGD to directly contest this, but what they can do is just stall and be annoying. The Bear burning all the heroes down slowly. A bit of an unintentional pun there. Bear will drop once. Now they got to be more careful. Illuminate being channeled, I believe. Nice positioning. Look at that Illuminate. Look at the positioning that he used from that Spirit form. Now the chase. Blinking from Yao. Hexed up. Could be a bad fight. Burning catches two with the crush. Here's Super as well. They want to kill SC. They will kill him. Where's that Finger of Death? DDC is going to throw it out. They get one. That's a track kill on a couple of heroes. Crush on everyone. But they're fighting under that Spirit Bear. They're dropping low. And DDC entangle on Burning. Oh no. They can't afford to lose Burning now. Shackle on two. RTK, a beautiful Shackle. But where's the follow-up? They didn't focus the Lone Druid. Now the Panda ult's back online. And GoDz, I think they may actually just have to back off, lose their tier 1 mid, and possibly after that, the Roshan or these other tier 1s on the map.
Just some amazing play by LGD here, just holding their own against DK. They focus the Queen of Pain at the exact right time when they kill, and Super, great laning from early on, but just getting focused down with some misplaced blinks here. The early Sheepstick, I mean, an item which, if you're ahead, can theoretically just help you snowball, get those pickoffs, but it looks like he's needing a BKB. The disable's coming out from LGD. It's only really the Lion who's packing them, but it's being enough. Every time he gets one on Queen of Pain goes down so freaking fast.
Yeah, Shao8 is going to be bottling up here. He's got a BKB soon. They're getting a lot of big items, and look at the gold graph. It's really starting to tip around. And also, you got to keep in mind, even if the gold difference stays even as the game goes later, that means a smaller proportionate difference. Now they get a tier 1 mid, they get a little bit of map control. DK are going to go right back in, but they lost that last fight without the Panda ult being online. They're going to force this issue. It is going to drop quickly, but LGD are having none of it. The Bear comes in and tangle into Kung Fu. Panda blink it, Panda clap, ult on everyone, going to work. The boulder toss, was it dodged by the Queen of Pain? It wasn't actually used yet. Where's that boulder toss? Still not using it, not really microing perfectly. Bernie being chased away by the Lone Druid. They just can't get into this Lone Druid. The supports are keeping him safe. He's protecting the team, and they're protecting him. And with the Panda ult being popped, the BKB from Slardar being used up, and I think that was a track kill. I'd say a slight edge to LGD, but not a huge disaster for DK either. Just both of these teams trading jabs, trading punches, but nobody delivering a knockout blow just yet.
Yeah, I think a slight bit of missed micro there from Yao. He actually helped keep the Venomancer alive when he used that cycling. He could actually finish Venomancer off, but it's just the support here is there. Leshrac going down as well as the Lion, and I think DK are starting to realize that their position in this game is suddenly a bit worrisome. We've got Brewmaster with a Vlad's up that's helping out the Lone Druid and with all those auras as well as his ultimate form, and all these item progressions, small, cheap, cost-effective, giving auras, providing them stronger and stronger teamfight. And DK, they're trying to go into the Roshan pit over and over again. It's really not working out for them so far. Even with this gem up, they've got decent map control, but it's just not enough. Burning in the Roshan pit, I feel he needs to be careful, because even with Brewmaster ultimate on cooldown, this is still a fight that LGD can take.
I wish I could be inside so that DK war room and hear what they're talking about now, because they really seem quite indecisive, and something that we were both lauding them for was how quickly they seem to show this killer instinct of being ahead in some of their group stage matches and just ending the game, not even questioning what to do. This game, they're met with some adversity, and they're not really sure exactly how to proceed. They're giving time for the Panda ult to go down. Bernie blinks it, and the Queen of Pain ult on everyone. Oh, this could be a good fight, but can they kill anyone? Yao is so incredibly tanky. The Illuminate doing insane damage. There's the Panda, there's the Lion ult assassinating one. Queen of Pain drops next. They just can't kill Yao. They can't kill the Lone Druid. These bears have 500 lives now. Kung Fu Panda, ROTK, being zoned out a bit by Shao8. Looking for a shackle. Do they have a gem? They do. Trying to give chase, but this is buying time for the rest of the team to get towards that middle lane, get in a better position to help him. When it's all said and done, you're trading kills against a bounty hunter, not in a position you want to be in. And I think the biggest sign of how this game is turning is that experience graph, which actually remarkably is favoring LGD now.
LGD, just every class there is just slightly edging out DK. Queen of Pain throws away her life just to kill the Lone Druid there, and like you mentioned, the track gold, it's helping LGD keep him close. If it's not for that, the gold is a much greater difference between the two teams. And DK, they're just really forcing it a bit too much near this Roshan pit. They had the greater map control. They were in a slightly better position. But now, with these poor team fights, it's suddenly anyone's game. And DK really have to of tighten up and start showing this sort of this clear cut decision making that we're seeing from LGD right now.
Right, and they've invested so much in getting this Roshan, and they still haven't achieved it. You know, it's back to full health. That's perhaps the worst part for them is you go and you don't kill Roshan, he regenerates quite quickly. And if it was low, if he was at half HP when they went back in, they'd probably just have gotten him by now. But it's at a point where even if they get the Aegis, does it make a world of difference anymore? It's certainly an important objective, but I'm not sure it's quite the game changer it was 5-10 minutes ago.
I don't feel that Aegis will turn around the team fight. It's not like, okay, we've got Aegis, we can push. Or we've got Aegis, we actually win a team fight, which we otherwise would have lost. It's like you say, it's not going to have a huge impact. It's maybe just, I mean, you get the gold, you get some security for your carry, but it's going to still be very, very hard for DK to take these team fights with the way LGD are currently playing and choosing their battles.
Well, Burning, farming up in the lane, he hasn't really progressed at all. There hasn't been much item progression from anyone. Burning just sitting on the Blink Dagger, the BKB, Scythe of Vice up on the Queen of Pain. The one hero that has really... I thought I heard a Panda ult, but no, that's actually the Keeper of the Light.
The recall.
Yeah, that's...
And Xiaowe's got his BKB. He's just finished it off now, and with this is, I mean, that's someone who can go in the front lines, can really... Brewmaster blinks in, Xiaowe can go in right behind him. He doesn't have to play as cautiously as he has been doing so for most of this game.
Can DK just sit back? Can they wait and try and take this late game? Or are they in a position now where they have to find a way to get a major advantage? Can LGD just sort of sit back and try to get farther ahead, and DK allow them to do so and try and match them blow for blow, or do they have to force the issue? Sure, it hasn't been working, but is this lone druid going to get too big to handle? I think he just completed the Assault Cuirass on the bear. In fact, he did, so he's got it, and that really hamstrings the Slardar's effectiveness.
I think LGD, they keep sort of just going for this slow roll where they're just taking tower by tower, they're staying grouped up, they're forcing DK to react to them. They say, okay, we're grouped up as 5, what are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to try and come and engage in us? And DK, there's not really many ways that they can do that. The Queen of Pain needs a BKB, I feel. Burning, I mean, he's got the blink and BKB of his own, but there's just not enough follow-up. The mech for this coming from this Keeper of the Light and just the overall survivability of so many of these heroes is causing DK problems.
Well, they're trying to split push this out. Super's pressuring the top lane. It looks like the rest of the team is sort of grouped up defensively position mid. Bernie has gone for a Vitality booster. He's not going for a big next item. He's not picking up something like an Assault Cuirass. He's not, I guess he's eventually building towards a Heart, but he's not getting the Reaver first. It's just a totally, what a turnaround for this game. Just remarkable, and LGD senses it too. They're pressuring the top lane with the Lone Druid Bear, keeping the rest of the team mid, and the beauty of having the Keeper of the Light as your support is he can bring that Lone Druid into the fight if the hero wants to leave the lane. That's not a problem. And now it's become a situation where by himself DD is just pushing back on this lane, really hamstringing the ability for DK to leave their base and to go be active around the map, go for ganks like they want to do.
Yeah, this game has just flipped on its head all of a sudden. It's only really Super who seems to be able to go off in his zone, get some farm. He's at top lane. They've got Burning at bottom lane, but still, this is very risky play from him. If he gets initiated on by a disable from line, the chain disables, the Finger of Death. They've got the burst damage and needed disables to kill Burning. This is why LGD opted for that line support role, and it's looking like it's a pick that may pay off. And he's being played nearly perfectly by DDC. He's been managed to stay on the edge of every single fight. He's only been picked off once, and this was a line pick which we both thought was going to struggle against some of this aggressive play from DK.
Yeah, it's the positioning. It's just been absolutely pristine this entire game. I don't know if we can really point to a moment when DDC's been out of position. Maybe once or twice early on, but not really since then. They're going to actually check out the Roshan pit. They are running past quite a few wards, so they have a gem. They don't, and similarly to how we thought DK should get one earlier, I would like to see LGD get one too. Haven't done so yet. They've gone for... This is another sort of weakness of DK's lineup, is if you get a lot of Ghost Scepters up on these supports, it comes down to Super to kill them, because otherwise Slardar can't do a thing to them. That's going to sort of limit the effectiveness of the amplified damage, and they already have one up on the Keeper of the Light, who's also just getting farmed in general. The Mech giving the team armor, the Vlad's pickup to give them a little bit more, that being picked up by Yao. They have a lot of armor, and across the board, between that and the Assault Cuirass, they're countering DK's lineup, not only in play, but also through items.
Yeah, LGD has just been really smart from every little thing they've done, from Panda and Brewmaster saying, okay, I'm getting a Vlad to an Ag Scepter, to the bigger item choice, like you say, the Assault Crest against all this minus armor. And it's where does the damage come from DK? I mean, they've got this really strong, scary-looking lineup, but it just doesn't feel like there's enough there at their disposal to deal with this lone druid in the front lines, just pushing away. LGD just going tower by tower, dismantling DK at this point in the game.
DK is going to sort of commit to a split push here. They're giving up their tier 2 bottom, and once this is down, it's going to be hard to contest a Roshan, at least a lot more difficult than it was. They still have the tier 2 mid. Burning is already far pushed up on the top lane. Yao is here as well. He's going to get psyched up. Super really can't commit to this, but does draw 2 TPs back. Immediate reaction from LGD. They get the tier 2 bottom. Once they get that tier 2 mid, they're going to have some really good sort of map control when it comes to the Roshan. And I'm not sure how DK can stop it, aside from maybe sneaking the Aegis. This is the downside of the Slaughter pick. It's the weakness of the hero, is if you can't be aggressive, if you can't keep on securing Roshan with amplified damage, forcing the issue with the Blink and the early BKB, he doesn't farm well. There's not as much of a plan B with him as there is with some of Burning's other signature heroes.
Yeah, Burning from here. I mean, he's not the carry anymore. He's just going to be that frontline tank going through this Heart of Terras with a Vitality boost. It's going to come down to Super to take them to late game. Super as well. He's got 4k gold. May just pick up that BKB now, but Super late game is going to be doing a lot more DPS in fights, kiting heroes around. Even the winner, we'll see maybe a Sheepstick picked up a bit later on, has to have a big impact in these fights. Burning, as this frontline brawler, with this new role of his, cannot carry this if this goes late game.
DK is firmly on the back foot. Keeper of the Light now back in spirit form. Has not used recall. There we go. Got it right now. There's the Illuminate being charged up, splashing through, killing off the creep wave. The bear going to work and the tower dropping very fast. There's no glyph. They're going to lose the tier 2, and at some point they got to fight. Blinking from Yao, clap onto Kung Fu Panda. And just the constant spam, the Illuminates, the tracks coming out. There's just so much stuff being thrown at them, and you can only deal with so much. They keep on fishing for shackles. ROTK just not able to find one yet. Now Sylar TP's away, up to another 2,200 gold. No progression beyond the Assault Cuirass, but now they have much better map control, much better position for that Roshan, and DK, boy, what a change in sort of their behavior this game. Just clumped up as 5, not really farming a whole lot, afraid to move out unless they see LGD all grouped up, and not even forcing the Roshan issue like they were before, despite the fact that they see the Lone Druid top, and that's because of this Keeper of the Light. He can bring the Lone Druid in pretty much at a moment's notice. Yeah,
Keeper of the Light has really started to sort of just see a lot of play, and that's one of the main reasons. The recall is just such a powerful skill. It's a late game, even early game, bringing heroes in for these ganks, and LGD find themselves in a fantastic position now. Just the tower by tower kind of play. This is the kind of Chinese Dota which I think people either grew to love or hate. It's not really a farm fest, but it's very patient, just going tower by tower, get the core amps, then go push.
Here comes the big...
This is what DK want to do.
DDC is in trouble. We talked about that positional play, but he gets hexed. He will be brought down. They assassinate DDC off the bat. They do pop 2 BKBs to do it. SC recalls Sylar into the fight. Shao8 now focusing on QQQ. This will be a 4-hero track kill. QQQ about to drop. A lot of gold going their way. MMY first to TP out. They kill the Lion, but they blow so much to do it, and the way he moved just away from his team so that the BKBs would be used up. Even when he gets picked off, the positioning and the movement was pretty intelligent from him.
Yeah, he's out of position. He knows he's going down. He just splits the fight. Like you say, it's really amazing play from DDC, even when he's get caught out with DK. I feel like that's the right decision there from DK. They're unable to find openings. They need to make something happen. That smoke around from behind, it just still doesn't work out for them. They're going to find themselves just still falling behind, fight by fight, and Sylar just getting so ridiculously farmed at this point. He's got the Assault Cuirass up, and now with 3.2k gold, his next big item is not far off.
And the bear just... The other nice thing is that the bear can just push all the lanes, which really limits your freedom to gank. It limits the effectiveness of this kind of global, or not global, but aggressive mobile ganking squad. If you want to gank now, you're smoking, you're running past creep waves that are pushing into your tower, and if your gank goes poorly, now you're in a situation where maybe you lose Rax, maybe you lose a tier 3, or your last remaining... Actually, they still have a tier 1 top, the tier 1 and the tier 2 top, so it's tough for DK on multiple fronts, and LGD really starting to just use everything correctly to kind of maximize their effect on this. MKB looks to be the next choice for Sylar. It's coming out soon, so Windrunner won't be able to evade the auto attacks anymore from the bear, and on top of that, if Slaughter was thinking about something like its Heaven's Halberd, well, it's not likely to be as effective.
Yeah, and it will give the Lone Druid, his Spirit Bear, even more damage for these pushes, because whenever they're pushing, It's just more, it's somewhat an uncontested tower. I mean, DK are there trying to spam things off, but they're never wanting to engage into the Lone Druid, into the Brewmaster, so it'll just allow him to take down towers a lot quicker with the additional DPS. So at this point, he doesn't really need survivability. LGD are choosing their fights that they don't need to be super tanky. He doesn't need a hard, he doesn't need that next big tanky item. He just wants DPS to help him chip away at these towers bit by bit and force DK to sort of engage into a fight that they don't want to engage into.
It looks like DK is really angling for late game at this point. They've got the BKB up on Super, but it feels mostly like a defensive pick, not something where you're like, okay, I've got my BKB, you can't stop me now, I'm going to go end the game. This is, I don't want to die in the middle of a fight and then not be around to help my team kind of BKB. That's how it feels to me, the way he's playing it. And, you know, they've got 4 staff, they are getting some farm under their supports. MMY with the 4 staff, with the Ogre Club up, he's getting close to a BKB. BKBs will help, there's a lot of disables, but it's also how do you do with the Lone Druid. You really need an Assault Cuirass of your own. You'd like to have a Vlad's of your own. Who's going to buy it, though? It's got to be Burning. But he goes back for the Ogre Club, and this is probably what prompted that Demon Edge purchase, if nothing else did, was seeing this. You pretty much know he's going for Assange. He's going towards the Heaven's Halberd, so trying to get some evasion up. This is a very poor Slardar at this point in the game. You know, this is sort of the weakness of the hero, and it's what we see. I think it's what we're used to seeing when Slardar's played. Is not the amazing, ridiculous 5-minute Midas, you know, that Burning had the last time he played him, and just out of control ownage. But you know, a hero that has a decent impact in the mid game, and then really tails off if his team doesn't have a big lead.
Yeah, it's Burning just struggling to get into his own here. Roshan back up now. Both teams will be sort of fighting for position around that. And with all the BKBs up, I mean, you mentioned Brewmaster just being able to make sure he can get his ultimate off, and even when his ultimate's on cooldown, has the BKB as an option so he can continue to fight. This is going to be a fight which LGD seem to be having a slight edge in. Leshrac still doesn't have BKB up, and I feel that DK just aren't ready to take these team fights. So if LGD wanted to go into the Roshan pit, or at least sort of group up around there, DK are going to be forced to back off.
And it feels like DK wants to try and pull themselves back into this game, at least stall, or maybe even gain advantage by split pushing, with Super in one lane, perhaps Burning in another, and then the Windrunner in a third, and the supports just sort of farming the jungle, going wherever they're needed to help, you know, sort of stem the bleeding or stop the aggression. But the Bear is just ruining it. The Bear and the Keeper of the Light. You know, the Bear, you just send the Spirit Bear to farm the lane, you even send the hero there, you recall him back, you spam a lane down, you push a lane with that Illuminate. They can't get momentum on these lanes. It really limits their ganking ability, and here might be an opportunity to kill off Super. Xiaoweight's on the prowl, he's on the move, and Super's got to be careful. He'll blink away right into Xiaoweight's arms, but there's no follow-up, so it looks like it's just a scouting mission for him. Is there a gem on the Dire? There is on Kung Fu Panda, but he's all the way bottom, so Xiaoweight knows he's pretty safe to do whatever he likes at the moment.
Yeah, it's just get a track off and back off. And track at this point in the game is just so important. In this game of position where you're just fighting for basically ground and territory, having track to know the exact position of enemies, just keep your wits around. You know that they can't initiate on you. It's just so crucial. And it also helps deal with the split push which DK are doing. I think the push for DK is the right decision. It helps push out the lanes. It helps prevent LGD from going for that death ball group up and push down the mid lane or some other lane. But it also, and on top of that, it helps DK get those next big level of items up. Queen of Pain already up to 4.5k gold with the solo farm at top. Burning's getting some decent farm at bottom when he's just solo pushing it. So they get their next level of items up, and they also help push out and pressure the lanes. But it's still LGD who are just trying to use that track and use this position around Roshan and prevent DK from doing it enough with that space they've got.
They really want to sneak one, and we've definitely seen teams in the past just smoke into Roshan and pull it off. But 43 minutes in against LGD, good luck with that. You got to win the team fight, honestly, fair and square, if you want to try and secure that Aegis. And this time, I believe it does. No, it's only the second Roshan, so no cheese yet. It feels like there's been more Roshans, just because there's been so much back and forth there. But in fact, there's only been the one, so this will be our second. Sylar has the MKB, more items being accumulated for him. And, you know, this is, if LGD want to go ultra late game, this is a 12-slot hero. So it's, you know, it's really hard to see them not at least having a decent shot at the edge there. Plus, they're getting to a point where we might see a Blink Dagger on DDC, some great initiation from him. Eventually, even a Hex on the Keeper of the Light. That's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it could happen eventually. Yao has opted for a BKB. He's less concerned about having the amazing long-duration ultimate of the Aghanims and more concerned about making sure he gets it off. Because as long as he does, it's going to be real hard for LGD to lose a fight. If he gets hexed and assassinated, it could go the other way. But he goes for the BKB, so it's going to be very difficult to pick him off now.
Yeah, and with this, I mean, it's just constant LG. They're just constantly checking Roshan. As long as DK's not in Rosh, LGD are happy to keep on stalling, taking the select game. I mean, it's a matter of LGD out-farming their opponents at this point and just increasing their lead bit by bit. And as long as DK don't get the Aegis, then hey, LGD are happy. They know they're in a slightly better position here. Even with the gold graph, it still says DK are ahead, but that is by no means tells the full story of this game.
Right, just look at the movements. You don't see DK adventurously charging towards the middle lane, pushing the lane, not even having the whole team there. That's what DK are doing. Or that's what LGD are doing, not DK.
And LGD are accumulating a lot of gold through this split farm and just having all this space on the map. I mean, Bounty Hunter's up to 4.2k gold. That's another big item coming his way soon. I don't know what exactly he's going to be planning on getting at this point, but it's a lot of farm.
I would honestly, I would love to see a Hex. I feel like another Scythe device will just be so powerful for this team. They don't really need damage. This Lone Druid does enough by himself. They just got to lock heroes down and pick them off. But we'll see. We'll see what Xiaohui goes for.
It would be a very unorthodox build, but it does work out. Because right now it's only really Lion who has the proper disables. Entangle isn't very reliable. The Brewmaster stun will be there maybe some of the time in ulti form with the Boulder Toss, but having that Sheepstick could net them some crucial kills.
Burning, thinking about going in. He has completed the Heaven's Halberd, but remember, there's an MKB on the Lone Druid. We'll see if it actually makes the difference. Does still have that disarm ability. Can be pretty useful if he gets it off at the right moment, and it's split push. It's just the Spirit Bear top. It's the whole team mid. And they're going to try and force a rotation back. QQQ will be leaving the fight. Not the most important hero at this stage of the game, to be totally honest. More just sort of an anti-pusher and kind of utility hero. But hey, it is still a 5v4. DK lurking on the high grounds. I'm a little surprised LGD haven't even thought to scout this yet. But Tyler's going to foray up onto the high ground. He'll clear the area. And now that top lane's still pushing in. The Venomancer didn't even feel safe to go there. He actually heads back to the base. And LGD are starting to get into a position where they may be able to just charge into Roshan while these lanes are pushed and steal it.
Yeah, I feel that they can, even if DK know what they're up to and LGD make it obvious, I think DK is just going to be forced to play too defensively. It's not really a scenario where they can just go in and take the fight.
Oh, that was almost a two-hero shackle, just barely missing there. The bear drops fairly low. Does have the medallion applied to it, but it'll be okay. Backs off, gonna heal up. You can actually earn the bear? Did I just see that?
I did not know that. Yeah, it got cancelled by the poison damage from the Venomous Gale, but yeah, you can earn the bear.
That is pretty cute, and also really annoying if you're DK. And he's got quite a few charges. He's got 4 more. That's 1600 HP, which is about half the bear's health. Goes back to top. The siege will continue. And DK not farming their jungle during this time, not really. If anything, they should be falling behind, and that's what the graphs seem to suggest, is slowly but surely. Sure, they've been... Well, speaking of next level of items, Super's gotten an MKB. He's kind of... He doesn't have buyback. Does anyone have buyback? That's another good question. The Lone Druid, the Panda, the Bounty Hunter, and the Windrunner all do. So a lot of the core heroes. The Bear might be killed off. Burning trying to gank it. Will there be a recall? He's gonna get it off. And that is it. It would have been a small victory. Actually, a pretty significant one for DK. But the Bear is alive. Still got those 2 lives. And Sylar, a late-game heart, is the next order of business for him as the Vitality booster is completed.
Yeah, you can't really give much survivability to your Spirit Bear. You just have to be careful with its positioning. But the hero itself, well, Sylar's going to be getting very, very tanky and scary looking very soon. And it's just 12 slots of items is something that you can't really compete with over if you're a DK. They've got the MKB on Quap, and I think this is the right decision. You've just got to go all out. You can't afford to save for buyback. If there's team fights coming out, this Queen of Pain has to do a lot of damage because Bernie's just going to get kited around, shut down, and with the Heaven's Halberd, he's just that tank. All he can do is just sit there and soak up some damage, try to use as many slithering crushes as possible, get as many AoE stuns as he can, but it's going to be entirely the Queen of Pain doing the damage, maybe with some extra damage coming from heroes like Leshrac and Windrunner.
Now that was the recall, and boy oh boy, it really does look similar, but recalls him back in, picked up a Force Staff it looks like, so already had the mech, the Ghost Scepter goes back for a Force Staff, or maybe already had that and just completed power charts, but just gets more survivability, and this Kodal is really hard to kill now between Force Staff, Ghost Scepter, and Lion having the same. These are sort of your classic support items for the Chinese players, and the new Force Staff may not be quite as good on those semi-carries, the Invoker, the Windrunner, but still a ridiculously good item on these support heroes who don't need the damage, don't really need the extra attack speed either.
And the siege will just continually happen now. They just send the Spirit Bear in to chip away, and all DK can do is try kill the Spirit Bear whenever it goes in. They'll do as much damage as can, they'll try force it back, and LGD will just back off when the Spirit Bear can't fight anymore. This is just slowly and steadily, DK getting worn out, getting just their base whittled down to pieces. Because this tower at mid is just it's not going to be standing for much longer if this game continues as it is now.
And I believe they're going to start earning the bear up again if they have. No, going to send it back to base to heal. I guess they want to hold on to those earn charges. Don't want to waste them all in case you do win a fight and you want to be able to sustain that push. Super has pressured in the bottom lane, and as mentioned, has an MKB. He's getting close to... DK's heroes are starting to get close to, not necessarily max inventory, but where it's not really... There's not many more items you can get that are better than buyback. I think Super's reached that point. I think Burning, at least with his next item, will. And DK just locked in their base. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen LGD try to force a Roshan issue a bit more. They also haven't done much de-warding. Some small things I think are a bit of a mistake, but they back off the siege. Let's see if they get more aggressive towards the Roshan pit. So far, just really content to farm.
Yeah, I'd love to see them go into that Roshan pit. I don't think they need to get the Aegis for the Lone Druid, but for other heroes like the Brewmaster or the Bounty Hunter who are on the front lines as well, having them able to just go in, chip away at the tower, and then back off without having to worry about getting initiated on and chain stuns is pretty important. So getting the Aegis up, I don't feel DK can really do much about it if they do try go in, or at least when they go in when the lanes are pushed out like they're doing. They've got the Spirit Bear at bottom, they've got 3 to 4 heroes, they've got all the heroes at mid lane, and they're just going to keep pressuring this tower though, not worrying about Roshan.
Yep, here comes the siege. It's the Manta-style illusions. It's that Spirit Bear in the front lines, and you know, when DK jump in on it, the best way they bring it down is with amplified damage, but that's what you have blind for, and there's only an MKB on Queen of Pain. Shackle isn't going to latch, it starts dropping low. Where is that blind? Gale is going to connect, and the creep wave, actually the bear's going to die. Oh, is it getting to the point where this bear can't tank anymore? Is he going to have to put the items on the hero? Do they want to force the issue? DK haven't lost this tower yet. It's still sitting on 126 HP, and LGD forced back again. They may just wait until this bear respawns. If they want to do that, that's 2 minutes where they're not being aggressive.
Yeah, they've got the bear up, but the
cooldown is
there. This is the limitation of the Lone Druid in the late game. Sure, you can have 12 item slots, but the Spirit Bear is always squishy. I mean, even with the plus 15 armor, he's got 2.7k HP. It still feels very squishy. Magic damage doing a lot of damage there, and it's just really hard to keep continually send it in, dealing damage to towers. So the Spirit Bear itself
here we
is not the most reliable.
Blink in on Shao 8, but 1 4-step used to throw away. Now the Hex onto the Spirit Bear, I believe a misclick. And then both teams disengage, so no real aggression.
Super is just going all in. I mean, he's got the Crystal Seed. He's going to try to beat that Daedalus as soon as possible, and that's really what's going to keep DK in this late game. It's going to be this Queen of Pain. That's their only real hope at this point, is the Queen of Pain's DPS. And then the disables from Slardar and the Windrunner Shackle Shot has to land. They have to hit these AoE stuns. Even the Leshrac Split Earth is going to be crucial in these team fights.
It's quite a standoff we have mid. Track applied onto RTK, just the Shuriken toss thrown in there for a bit of harassment. The Bear has been sent back to its duty, pushing out that top lane. Buys them time for that summon to cool down, and also gives them some momentum they probably would like to have. There's a haster on top. DK sees it, LGD doesn't. They don't have vision of that. Not the biggest deal in the world necessarily, but we'll see. They're going to go into the pit. They finally commit to this. QQQ already instantaneously places a ward. They knew within a second or two as soon as those heroes leave mid, and now they start posturing up on the high ground, potentially looking to force a fight. Super, 1,700 gold. Let's actually double-check buybacks as the fight might be about to break out. Lone Druid and Panda, buybacks for them, buyback for the Windrunner, the Keeper of the Light, and the Venomancer. So no buyback on Slardar, no buyback on Bounty Hunter, or the Queen of Pain, which, like you said, is probably the biggest icon at this point in the game.
Yeah. I think DK are just desperate. They know that this push is just going to keep on doing damage, and they've got to do something to stop it soon. They're going pure DPS. Even the Windrunner not going for the Sheepstick is just such a big... they've got plenty of disables with these AoE stuns, so additional Sheepsticks. They're like, nope, we need more disables. And there we go. Tower finally drops. Lone Druid picks it up. He has to get the Spirit Bearer out fast. It takes so much damage from that with the amp there, as well as all that additional minus armor. Yes, and it goes down again. So he's going to have to resummon it, and this is LGD are going to start hitting roadblocks. I don't feel LGD are in the clear here. In about 5-10 minutes time, DK going to be at a point where if Queen of Pain has a Daedalus, Winner has already got the Maelstrom and is going to have maybe, I don't know if you want to complete the Mjolnir or just save for buyback, but DK are going to start struggling. LGD are going to start struggling to team fight with this Spirit Bear being so easily brought down.
Right, and if you put the items on the hero, it's not exactly the most mobile unit. You don't want to be in ranged for him because you're just such an easy kill in that case. Bernie jumps in, Slither and Crush on 2, the big fight that we've been waiting for. Counter blinking, Yao running away from Burning, and Super wants to focus down those supports. Burning gets entangled, Burning gets brought down in a moment. They're not killing the Spirit Bear, it's still alive. It's a massacre, Bears on a rampage. QQQ trying to run away. Now MMY doing the same, Cyclone up on the Windrunner. Great micro so far. Turning back for QQQ. Instantly Burning has bought back into this game, and with the Panda ult on cooldown, perhaps it's actually a victory for DK, as odd as that sounds, just to blow that Panda ult cooldown. Now when they fight, they don't have to deal with it. Yao, in fact, might drop. No buyback available for him. Yao looks to be dead here with the MKB, with the amplified damage, so they lose Yao, and now DK, after what looked like a bad fight, might have actually been a great fight for them. They're in position where they have a strong shot at Roshan.
Well, it cost them a Slaughter as well as a Queen of Pain buyback, but if they can get Roshan out of this, they're still looking okay. There's Brewmaster, no buyback. Keeper Light has popped the ultimate, just trying to spam them off, but yeah, this is Aegis going the way. Probably going to be picked up by Super. I don't think you want to put it on Burning here. Queen of Pain just so crucial, and LGD have to give this up. DK still in this. They're still fighting.
They actually choose to give it to Burning, so just counting on Super to have great positioning in these fights. Speaking of Super, I think he's got... Wait, What is on the courier? Just a Ring of Health and a Smoke. Okay, so... Yeah, they get the Aegis, and Panda ult is down. It's actually coming up fairly soon. Are LGD going to be able to go back to the slow siege? Can they do that, or do they have to try and find another way to finish this game? If they're not going to break high ground head-on, they don't really have the best lineup to kind of be sly or stealthy or go for a big gank. You know, it's just a Lion as sort of your blink-in initiator. Well, speaking of Lion, he does have a Blink Dagger now.
This is really where it goes back to what you possibly mentioned. Maybe Bounty Hunters should go for something like a Sheepstick. It's how they're going to win these late game fights. If there's a fight out in the open and they can't play the slow siege, if they're losing the Spirit Bear, the only way they can really deal with here is like Queen of Pain, even Slaughter. They're going to have short BKBs. They're looking at 5 seconds on the Slaughter, Queen of Pain at 8 seconds at the moment, but Sheepstick is going to be the way that LGD have to take this late game. Otherwise, Queen of Pain will just tear them apart. So I'd love to see Zhao 8 start building one. Keeper of the Light as well. Ultimate Orb is up. He's up to 2k gold. So I feel LGD, they've got a backup plan in mind if this slow siege just it stops working, which it already seems to be doing.
Yep, Scythe of Ice coming up soon for him, and I guess eventually DDC could hope to get one. Speaking of DDC, maybe lurking in hopes that DK are going to get sloppy and over-aggressive, but what do you know, they're smoked up on the other side of the map. No gank in sight for DK, or for LGD, and doesn't look like there's one in sight for DK either. We're going to see them retreat into the base soon, I feel. When there are this many heroes off the map for this long, pretty much always they're 5-man smoked. Well, LGD could get caught here. This is not the safest of positions by any means, but no, DK, the smoke wears off, and they're going to back off.
Well, DK, they're happy to be a bit more adventurous now with this Aegis, but they haven't got all the time in the world with the 6 minutes on it. They want to make something happen soon with it. Otherwise, they risk watching LGD go back to that sort of siege-style of players, especially once LGD get their next level of items up. It's going to be a bit scarier to go up against. DK, Queen of Pain, buyback up soon in 2 minutes' time, so the next 2 minutes is a bit of a danger time for them. Maybe that's why they're not trying to go all out with this Aegis.
I want to point out that Sylar actually got a Butterfly. He didn't complete a heart. He went back for evasion. Now, there's an MKB on Queen of Pain.
Wow.
But aside from her, this will help him tank against the Slaughter and the Windrunner. The Windrunner hasn't completed Mjolnir, so quite a bit of damage. Probably you expect to see her throw it on the Slaughter in the team fights. Just kind of give him this AoE punishment for attacking him, for focusing him first. And, well, DK has the Aegis, but are they going to do anything with it? 3 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more like 4, 3.5 to go. And they're just tucked away in base. Are they only going to leave when there's a smoke gank opportunity? If that's the case, I think they're out of smoke for 11 minutes. So, oh wait, no, is there smoke on the courier? So they have one last smoke to use over the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, this game has really reached a bit of a stalemate for both teams. LGD are like, well, we can't really do much, but I think they just feel that what they should be doing is continue this slow siege, even though it's being a bit ineffective. DK, they know they can't really take a team fight outside of their base and on equal terms, so it's really just a point where neither team knows quite what. I mean, it's not that they don't know what the right decision is. It's just that there's nothing that is going to be the right decision, saying this is what we do to win the game. It's just dead even between LGD and DK right now.
Yeah, you read the chat, and of course there's a lot of people saying, oh, this team's cowardly, oh, all these teams like to do is farm. there's not a better way to try and win this game. If you are the ones to force the issue, you probably lose the game then and there. So you've got to wait for the right opportunity to commit. That's why we see the patience, what some would call passivity, but you'll notice how it's not true passivity. It's not like LGD is sitting in their base. They're just not diving the towers. They're not forcing a fight that isn't an easy win for them. Shao8 is on the low ground. He might be able to be spotted. The bear goes in, doing some good damage. The shackle shot not going to latch. Now Panda jumps in. Where's that Panda ult? He's waiting. There's the Slaughter with the double damage, getting locked down and brought down. Bernie doesn't have buyback, but he does have the Aegis. He'll come back to life. Meanwhile, on the back lines of play, it's Super. Finds one. Can he find more? Will he get entangled? An entangle would spell absolute doom for a Bernie jumps in. Now Super wants to come back in. They're not really all committing to the fight at the same time, and it seems to be costing them. Bernie's getting low. There's the boulder bash from the Panda. Can they bring him down? He's still alive. He will die. Yao gets the kill. Focus the Rex. LGD, they smell victory. They smell a lane of Rex. The Bear's dropping low. He doesn't have to resummon. Queen of Pain kills it. Shackle on 2. This could be a huge turnaround. There is a buyback on Sylar, but there's no Bear for a minute and a half. Yao trying to run away. Blink over the top from Super. They might all get team wipe unless Shao8 comes in. Man mode attempt for him. All of a sudden they get Rax, but one lane of Rax is definitely not enough at this point in the game. That's 4 heroes dead, and now the question is, who's got buyback?
Well, it is a disastrous fight for LGD. The Spirit Bear just proving to be too squishy, and that's just sort of the downfall for LGD. It gets picked up once early on by the Windrunner, and again in the team fight. And once that happens, Lone Druid just has nothing to throw at the team fight. They get a melee Rax, but at 60 minutes in, I think DK can just shrug that off and say, well, we got a lot of kills out of that. We got some more farm on Queen of Pain. That's going to be Queen of Pain with a Daedalus at this point in the game. And it buys more time. I mean, they do lose an Aegis for it, but this is going to go even later, and I think that favors DK, because the Spirit Bear, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, he's got 12 item slots, but realistically speaking, it's not really 12 item slots he can use effectively. He doesn't have the skills or the survivability on his Spirit Bear to effectively justify having 12 item slots in the Supreme late game.
It actually feels like the Queen of Pain is doing more with 7k less gold. And I also have to really point out that Super, his positioning and decision-making in that fight was fantastic. Now, he got a little bit lucky. He didn't actually get entangled. I think the bear hit him at least 2 or 3 times. But that was it. He didn't get locked down. He used the BKB wisely. He jumped out of the fight, and then he chose to go back in on very low HP, also choosing to focus the bear. How many players would just go for hero kills there? How many players would just run away with that low HP? But Super made all the right decisions, and that's why DK are, like you said, not great to lose Rax, not great to lose the Aegis, but they're in good position, I think in spite of that, to get the 3rd Roshan, or at least have a strong shot at it. And what do you do now if you're Sylar? I mean, he's put the MKB back on the hero, so the bear is just sort of this walking, pushing machine with the Radiance, with the Salcuras. It's a tough situation. Both teams, I feel like neither team has a clear advantage, even after that Rex.
Yeah, Super buys his Daedalus. This is actually a bit of a risk here. If LGD go for another push here, Queen of Pain has no buyback, and that could be costly. That's something which DK are taking a chance with this. They know if they find an opening, they can get the additional DPS, they can get those kills faster, and they're also hoping that Queen of Pain, there's not going to really be a big scale clash in the near future. But LGD, they've grouped up towards bottom, and it looks like they want to go now. And this is Super on a rush. He wants to go counter push his top lane, I think, and also start farming towards that buyback, but I don't think he's going to have it by the time LGD reaches bottom lane of Raxus if LGD try and make that push. But I think, fortunately for DK, LGD don't realize he gets no buyback.
No way is he going to have it. He only has 130 reliable gold. He needs probably like over 2k more, counting how much he's going to lose when he does die. I don't know if he's on much of a streak. It's so hard to keep track at this point, but, well, LGD, maybe not quite a game of chicken, but what's looking like it might turn into one, and both teams choose to back off, so more farming, looking for the next level of items. I mean, I talked about the late game Hex on the Bounty Hunter. Do you consider that for the Panda as well? I mean, after buybacks, of course, but he's up to 2100. This is such a stalemate.
Absolutely. It's just going to be so far off, where 63 minutes to farm a sheep stick on top of having a buyback, I think will just take a long time. Keeper does have the sheep stick up, which is good news for LGD.
Yeah, we're going to restart the call as, GoDz, you're getting a little robotic. We'll bring him back in. Hopefully, didn't cut him off, and I really couldn't understand him there. Hey, GoDz, you're back. Hopefully,
all right, a bit better.
Yeah, a bit better this time.
Next time I'll be sure to remember to turn off my webcam during games itself, as it probably makes the call quality slightly worse. The LGD, I mean, they're continuing this. They've gone bottom now. They've got two Spirit Bears, which is the main thing which they need, because the Spirit Bear doesn't last long enough. But DK have already proven they can defend this. They have to defend as cost-effectively as possible, because if they lose a Tier 3 tower here, next time they maybe lose a Rax. They need to really win a team fight convincingly, DK, I feel.
Right, both teams, it is important, and, you know, again, buyback is... Generally, you see Chinese teams, traditionally they always prioritize buyback over items. I think Super is sort of a unique case where more so than any player, we've seen it a little bit from IG, but IG has also generally been a little bit farther ahead than this. They don't go for buyback, they don't save for it, or it's a secondary consideration. Now, I guess they feel that Queen of Pain's just going to be in a good position, and it's really just up to Burning to have buyback available, and so far, it's worked, although as I say that, he doesn't have it right now. He hasn't been able to get a lick of farm. I don't think he's gotten 100 gold in the past 30 seconds to a minute or so.
Yeah, Burning has just not been prioritized for any farm. They're giving more farm to ROTK. Winrun's got a Mjolnir. This is just high-risk play, no buyback, pure DPS. They're giving Burning's, at this point, third priority. Maybe even fourth after the Leshrac. And the problem is going to be Roshan respawning soon. LGD may make a go at that. If the LGD can sneak in Roshan, it'll get so much easier to siege this at DK base.
Right, you can just get really risky. Even put more of the items, perhaps, on the lone druid, or heck, even the panda. Just let him be the frontline tag for a little bit. Come back to life, then you use your ult, and then the panda ult can actually be used to help bring the Rax down. Sure, there's a chance he'll die, but it's all about getting the second lane of Rax. If they get a second lane of Rax and they have buyback, even if they lose 2 or 3 heroes, they're probably in a position where DK is going to have to go for the throne, and that is a risk that's... There's a tier 2 up mid, so they can't barrel down mid. The side lanes are pushing, though. Queen of Pain trying to pressure that out. Now Super does a buyback. That's... Or no, actually... Okay, yes, he does. I was going to say, 3,000 gold and he doesn't have buyback. But yeah, he does now. So that's one big thing that DK has managed to secure during this time.
Yeah, that's going to be important. There's no real big items Queen of Pain needs from her. And if anything, Queen of Pain's next time could be something like a Divine Rapier even. As when you have, if it gets desperate for DK, they get a Divine Rapier if Queen of Pain has the gold. The one thing I'm surprised about is they actually gave Aegis to the lone druid. I feel everything, I mean, he's relying on his Spirit Bear. I don't think his hero's ever really getting focused down. I feel this Aegis on him is even better on maybe a hero like Lion at this point in the game, because Lion's just so crucial for his disables, and Lion's always getting focused down fast.
Oh yeah.
So a bit surprised that they give it to the lone druid, who, I mean, the only time he died was he died when his Spirit Bear had died twice already. So it was kind of like, well, he died, doesn't even want to buy back. So a bit surprising for me.
Right, and it's especially crucial at this point in the game because everyone's BKB is down to 5 seconds. Queen of Pains is down to 5 seconds. Windrunner's might not be. She actually hasn't used it yet. This was like a 50-minute BKB from Windrunner. By the way, gods, we're 66 minutes into this game, and we've only got 1 lane of Rax down. It still feels like anyone's game. It absolutely is anyone's game at this point. So we're getting a little, we're starting to get a little wacky. If we get a little deranged as the cast progresses, I'm gonna blame these teams for it. But you know, the line. I'm glad you brought up that point about the hexes because the BKBs have low duration, so it's actually very likely you'll get to use it at an effective time at this point.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, this is just a huge stalemate between these two teams, and the Sheep Sticks is really going to be the difference between getting the kills and not getting them. The evasion on a lot of these heroes just gets completely negated by those Sheep Sticks. MKBs are up on a number of heroes with Queen of Pain as well as the Spirit Bear having one. Well, actually, he switches over his main hero once again. He's going to go higher. I think Lone Druid's plan is to send his hero in more than his Spirit Bear to actually try and push down these towers, but his Spirit Bear just gets destroyed. He needs his hero more on the front lines than his bear at this point in the game, I feel.
Right, it's almost like just leave the bear with your team, so when Slardar jumps in, it'll help keep them alive. But he already lost it. It's on cooldown. It does have an Assault Caress. That's pretty important. The blink in from Yao. Trying to blind time. BKB's popped by everyone. It's a city of gold. Burning is the one who's dropping low. Driven back by Xiaowei. Meanwhile, the Illuminate comes in. MMY dropping low. Disintegrated by the Lion. First blood of this fight. Drawn by LGD. Immediate buyback from the Leshrac. Everyone dropping very low to the Venomancer ult. Sylar's committing to this. He's going all in. He wants the Rex. He does have the Aegis. He'll drop. Can he respawn and survive? Shackle not going to latch with Xiaowei. Everyone's low. In comes DDC. There's the second Hex we talked about, but he's going to melt. Sylar back in the rage. In the melee form is being brought down. Sylar will die again. He does a buyback, but gods, they didn't get Rax, and they lost the Aegis to do it. I think they also used the cheese. In fact, they used everything, including 2 bear cooldowns. And the low druid, he does have buyback, so they're not going to lose the game off of that fight, but wow.
Yeah, Lone Druid, I mean, once again, Spirit Bear dies really early on, and not only do they lose the Spirit Bear who does a lot of damage, they lose the Assault Crest. The Assault Crest is just so crucial. He almost needs to put that on his main hero at this point in, because Lone Druid was alive for so long in that fight. Just his Spirit Bear dropped instantly. So, got to see him switch that Assault Crest over and just, I don't know. LGD just got so desperate to get that Rax there. I still think it's not necessarily the worst case scenario for them. They get the T3 tower. Next time they do that, maybe it's in, 6-7 minutes time with the next Aegis. They can get the set of Raxes, so they're just slowly trying to get closer and closer to Mega Creeps. They're just banking on the fact that DK do not have enough time to push out, get Raxes of their own. There's already 4 heroes up. It's only Lone Druid who's still dead, and he does have buyback if he wants to use it.
It's 40 seconds to go. They still have the glyph. They're going to save it for the high ground. They're going to save it probably until this tower is close to being dead. Although, as I say that, the bottom lane is being breached. They force out an early glyph. Not really the best usage. Xiaowei gets hexed up. He's in a lot of trouble. Was that 5 force staffs? Oh my god, did he fly far away? He's actually going to live. Now the counter initiation from Yao. Blink in, into the clap. Oh, Super might die. Super does die. He does a buyback, but he will be forced to do it now. That in itself is quite a victory.
Force stuff of the century, and I mean they're going to lose Venomante, which isn't the biggest move, but what a chain 4 stuff onto Xiaowei, winning that fight, and Super gets in at the perfect time with the
MMY!
He catches MMY! The high ground! He gets the Impale! Yao is still chasing Finger of Death, MMY in all sorts of trouble. He can't get his BKB off, and his buyback is on cooldown. What a big play. That was all Lion. DDC has somehow come up with some huge late game plays out of nowhere.
We talked about the importance of these support heroes when they were behind, but boy are they showing us just how important they are late game too. The triple force staff, just the chain hexing, the chasing. I don't even know if DDC had vision for that kill. The track was applied or for that stun, the track was applied afterwards. Maybe he just didn't have a chance to switch the camera view during all the chaos. But who has buyback now? And well, Queen of Pain.
They're looking to get cheeky. They're looking to get very cheeky with this. They're going for the split push. They had Queen of Pain, even Slider going bottom. No, they've TP'd back now. They were looking for maybe to kill the Lone Druid at bottom lane, but they've TP'd back. Lone Druid gets recalled top, and it's just Leshrac down, but this is risky. A lot of buybacks on Queen of Pain, buyback on cooldown. Slider does have buyback, and for DK, it looks like they're not going to find themselves in an engagement. LGD back off, maybe going to try and push out. They want to push out all these lanes with mid and bottom in a bad position. They can push out those lanes, get back to that slow siege mode, wait for the next Aegis, and cheese, I feel, is LGD's game plan right now.
Yeah, Sylar's got 5k. He doesn't have buyback for 3 minutes, but definitely doesn't want to spend it all because most likely it'll be 3 minutes before the next big team fight. Difficult situation for both teams. Managing your gold is important. Item selection is crucial, but mostly it's just going to come down to positioning and teamwork in these fights. And so far, LGD, especially in that last fight, showing a bit better communication. Also, just the power of the late game line does so much. It's both teams have plenty of damage. It's much more about who gets locked down and who can be focused down first.
Yeah, this is going to be very. It's who gets the better initiation. You don't want to overextend with it, but at the same time, you can't afford to just sit back and let your opponents get the best of you. The Sheep Sticks is the way to go, and if you can get those off before the BKB, if you've got the fault damage, I mean, LGD, Finger of Death, even at this point in the game, still doing a lot of damage. Some of these targets are pretty damn squishy. If they get Chain Hex, they're gonna drop. Roshan is up in about 4 minutes time as well, so both teams starting to get some more vision up. Gem as well is going to be another crucial item just to deny vision from your opponents. Don't let them see anything going on. And it's only DK who have one up, so Lion just trying to get some wards up. Winner needs to start de-warding those as soon as possible to help DK stay in this game in terms of map control.
We're at a point with this game where heroes don't have room for TP scrolls in their inventories, aside from or for wards, rather, if they want to carry TP. DDC, look at him, he's got wards. What do? Drop the magic wand? It's pretty important in these team fights. You're never going to be able to monitor him. Just a random aside, he has opted to skip that ability entirely, which just tells you how unimportant it is and how no pros go for it. But inventory space is sort of the last resource. It's the last frontier for a lot of these heroes. And, we talked about Lone Druid potentially having an advantage with 12 item slots, but, it's the supports who really struggle. Gotta carry the wards, gotta carry the gem, and Boots of Travel becomes the ultimate luxury item for most of these players at this point.
It really does, but even supports, I mean, you saw DDC was the difference maker that last fight. He's like, okay, I gotta have buyback. And as a support, buyback at 72 minutes in the game, that's a big chunk of gold. Lion's only level 17, but he's still got to fork out 1,600 gold for that buyback. It's really going to chew through a lot of his resources and forces the supports. It prevents him from getting that next big item up because they've just got to save so much to even have buyback at this point.
Lone Druid has money for anything he wants in the game. I believe he can even buy an Abyssal Blade now. 6,700 gold. Actually, he might be... Is he a tiny bit short? No, he might be like 12 gold short. But obviously, we're not going to see him buy it. It comes to a point where... do you just put... The item, even just switching items between the hero and the bear becomes troublesome. Because you really want the Assault Cuirass and the Radiance on the bear when it's split pushing. You got to remember to... Oh, God. Did you just disconnect from the server, or was that only me?
That's just you.
Oh god, I'm reconnecting right away. Please, nothing happening, gods. Just cast at least what's going on if I can't see it.
The radio casting. Well, there's DK sitting in their base, LGD sitting in their base. No, not too much being missed. You've got time. Assuming you reconnect. There you go. You reconnected, and it says.
Oh, but, I really hope that doesn't happen again. It would be such a horrible moment if it did. Well, the Gemstone burning now, and LGD grouped up bottom. Such a chess match. 75 minutes into the game, and does it really feel much closer to being over than it was at the 50, at the 40, at the 30-minute mark? I would say no. If anything, it feels in some ways almost farther away.
Yeah, if this was a chess match, the game would have been called a stalemate a good 30 minutes ago, I feel. But it's DK on the side looking for that initiation. The blink on Burning's there, but he hasn't been using that offensively as of late. They're going to go on Spirit Bear. Spirit Bear's the #1 priority, it feels like. And Shackle Shot. Ooh, Sylar needs to be careful. Here comes LGD, BKBs from Bounty Hunter as well as Brewmaster. They're gone in. Sylar still alive, and this is not quite the kind of fight DK were after, I feel. They've managed to take out Line, instant buyback, and DK now looking to turn this into even more kills. This is not the kind of fight this LGD were hoping for.
They've got the better chasing lineup. Panda's going to get caught out too. I think he's dead. This Earth Panda, nice boulder toss out of Burning. He's got to blink away as soon as he despawns. Will he be able to pull it off? Burning waiting, casting a split second too early. Yeah, with the blink away, everyone is alive for LGD. Granted, they used a couple buybacks, but Burning blinks forward. Where's that amplified damage? The Slither and Crush cooling down. The Hex is back up. This should be the death of Yao. No more evasion for you, sir. The MKB doing all the work in the world. And now the Panda... He doesn't have buyback. He needs 500 gold. No Panda and no Panda ult for 90 seconds. Did LGD finally slip up?
It's a pretty big slip. I mean, 2 buybacks from Bounty Hunter as well as the Lion. Brewmaster doesn't... I mean, I don't think DK aren't going for a push here. It looks like they're going to back off, regroup. It's still a very tough position for DK to make anything happen. The big thing is going to be if DK can get Roshan during this time while Brewmaster's down. Get the Aegis. Just at this point, with the carries and solos being so farmed, it's just going to be Cheese and Aegis going to the supports. Maybe an Aegis on the Slashrak. Cheese probably maybe on Burning or something. And it looks like DK. That's where they're going to be headed. Maybe.
I really don't know. Shao went for a butterfly, and I don't know if this is the item they need. I feel like it's more about the Hex at this point. Well, the item selection secondary, of course, to anything else that's happened. The bear might get caught out, though. The cheese is on the floor. They haven't picked it up yet. The bear will be brought down. No Aegis, no Assault Caress, and no bear resummoned for 40 seconds. Shao also on the run. I think they saw him with the gem, or no, it was just the track that revealed it. Threw the track out, got revealed, but now LGD give up the Aegis. I believe they picked the cheese up. They did. It's on the supports. It's look at QQQ. Oh, 76-minute Ethereal Blade on the Venomancer. I love this item choice.
He's a happy camper. This is late game Dota at its best. I mean, so much farm being spread around all these heroes. You've got a Lone Druid with a Manta style. You've got Venomancer with Ethereal Blade and a cheese. This is just a sight to see. Leshrac getting a huge amount of farm as well. The net worth of all these heroes in this game is it's pretty phenomenal.
Oh no, Sylar's gonna get caught. What was he doing, mid? He's got the mantle style though. He's trying to run away. He's so damn slow. Shackle not gonna latch blinking from Yao. Maybe it was the ultimate bait. Look how fast Burning dies. Burning actually living. No, he's still alive. Ethereal Blade was used by the Venomancer to keep him going through that. Now the Aegis is expelled. Queen of Pain in a bit of trouble. Lone Druid still standing, still tanking. Super delivering on the back lines of play. Blink in, clap on everyone. DK seemed to be overwhelming LGD, or maybe not. Can they bring down this bear? Can they finally deal with Sylar? He's still alive. He's doing so much work. He used the buyback. He rejoined the fight, and he's still mauling these heroes to death. Super's dropping low. Super not falling just yet. MMY running away. The Manta driving him back to his base. Shao giving chase. Unbelievable. Super
doing so much damage on his own. He gets 2 with 2 straight crits. He's going to get 3. Super has just turned this around in a huge turn of events. There's no buybacks. No one's buying back. Is this it? Oh gosh. I don't know. I think
GoDz.
Queen of Pain may have just done this.
We talked about the resurgence, sort of the rise of Super as King Mid. If he goes on to carry this game, this is one for the history books of Dota. This is a seriously epic performance. Took a lot of risks, but like you said, with the final piece of the puzzle was the Assault Cuirass, apparently. He still has buyback as well, so they can really commit to bringing down this Rax. Now, there is a Lion who's got a blink and an ult. Might be able to pick Super off and force that buyback. Rax is dropping low. BKB popped by Bernie. Just wants to bring it down. In comes SC, just trying to bait, just trying to waste their time. He's got the Ghost Scepter. He'll use it now. Lion jumps in. Lion assassinates Super, forces out the buyback. Was that the right choice, though? If he dies when Queen of Pain rejoins, maybe it wasn't worth it in the end.
Travel for Super. Super gets boosted travel. He's coming right back into this fight. Burning needs to get out of there. He hasn't got the Aegis anymore, but Super is here, and he wants revenge on this Lion.
Still 30 seconds to go. No buybacks available, or they would have used them already. The Rex is going to be focused down. This will be one lane of Rex. Can they get two? The top Rex is exposed. There's no more glyph. 2 lanes of Rex. That might be too much for LGD to deal with. Super, absolutely massive. Again, though, he doesn't have buyback. The game is not over, but it's looking a lot better for DK right now. Illuminate being spammed time and again, just trying to do anything to slow Super down. In comes DDC. Man mode from the little Lion. Can he pull it off? Doesn't look like it. And Xiaowei now forced to run. The amplified damage on him. Super smells blood. He smells victory. He wants this kill. Yao has the ult, has to use it. Windrunner going to work on him with that ultimate, with the focus fire. Sylar back in the middle of the fight. Remember, no buyback on the Queen of Pain. If she dies, this could maybe be a throne race going the other way. Super's got to blink away. He will do so. Now the chase on to Burning, who's trying to get out of here. Burning, actually does have buyback, even if he dies, not the biggest loss. 2 lanes of Rex claims. Looks to be the death of Burning. He's pulled back down. No time for that Blink Dagger to cool down. Immediate buyback. Wants to start the cooldown. And DK emerge basically victorious, but here comes, I guess, what LGD wants to do, which is an all-in kind of push mid.
It's all or nothing now. Four racks down, and this is got to be it. Xiaowei's so lucky to survive. He was on about 50 HP there. Queen of Pain decided to continue the team fight rather than chase him into the fountain with another right click. And LGD, they hold on, but just narrowly, so narrowly. And the problem with the 4 racks is down is that DK, they can wait for Roshan, they can push out the lanes. DK have time, and they want to make sure that they have buybacks before the next big engagement. For LGD, I feel this is maybe a 2-minute window while Queen of Pain has no buyback that they've got to go push it. They've got to take a team fight and hope for the best.
And he's got all the gold in the world. Gold will not be an issue for Super in this game. This also favors the more mobile team, and DK certainly is the more mobile team. I think, aside from the Blink Daggers and the Force Stabs, which you could argue are some form of mobility, but just as far as like raw gap closing and just being able to get on top of heroes, just being able to arrive at a lane quickly, you've got Sprint, you've got the Blink Dagger, you've got Quap, one of the most mobile heroes in the game. Same for a Windrunner with the Force Staff. It really, when you're up racks, having the lineup that can move freely throughout the map really is going to give you the leg up. And that's what a DK has right now. And like you said, Aegis coming up in a couple minutes, but the big thing is the Super buyback. And speaking of buybacks, the Burning buyback, which is already cooling down, 3.5 minutes to go. In fact, dare I say it, everyone's buyback is going to be off cooldown before the next fight. Is LGD trying to pull an FTFC? Are they going to 5-man mid and maybe even think about the throne? I don't think so, but here comes the smoke tank down mid.
Not a chance, I'd say. The 2 tier 4 towers glyph throne. DK are not going to get caught out of position with all that many heroes missing. But hey, they're looking for kills. They're looking for an opening. Roshan not back for a while now, and I don't think they're going to be able to. With all heroes missing, DK are going to say, well, we got to stick together. There's no way that DK are going to allow anyone to get picked off at this point in the game.
Oh, you say that, but not LGD, just really hoping for them to make a mistake. They could actually go up onto this hill. There is no tower there. They could try and get the high ground advantage, but very dangerous to do so. Queen of Pain still a minute and a half to go on that buyback. In comes Xiaowei. Track to start onto Birdie. Now the Shriek and Toss, maybe just to cancel that Blink Dagger. No, they're going to run away. That SC is in the back lines. Pops the Shivas, expecting a Blink in. Not going to happen. DK are perfectly content to slow roll this, to wait for the waves to push in mid as well as top, and this is going to force LGD to make a tough call. Do you commit to this push? Do you go back and defend? If you go back and defend, like you said, that buyback will be up again.
Yeah, this buyback is very, very soon. 1 minute before the Queen of Pain buyback. I don't know if LGD are timing this. I feel at this point, it's not the Roshan timer. It's stuff like the buyback cooldown, which is more important. And LGD, maybe they know it's about 50 seconds off for the Queen of Pain, and they're happy to make it go. They want to set up Raxus to try even things up.
Oh, here comes the huge fight. The bear going to work. Kung Fu Panda almost dies, but gets away with that ethereal form. Now Burning, being focused, being brought down. Where the hell is Super? He's on the back lines of play, but he's getting mauled. He doesn't have buyback for 30 seconds. 4-step in. Need one more auto attack. It looks like he's going to live. Everybody's living, but they're getting 2 lanes of Rex. LGD strike back. They get 2. Can they go for the throne? Can they go for more, or do they just back off? It looks like they're going to take the trade, get the Rage Rex mid. Here comes the TP from Lashrex. He wants to start this fight, draw the focus, brought down immediately, die with a crucial mistake, or perhaps not. Sylar's in trouble. Sylar might fall. It's Super who does. Where's the buyback? 8 seconds to go. Is it going to be too late? Kung Fu Panda, Monolink, LGD with the better focus fire, and by golly gods, they are doing it.
LGD done this? How are they still in this? Queen of Pain buyback coming in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Queen of Pain, Venomancer can't really offer enough, and it's just Queen of Pain. LGD have everyone except Lion. Lone Druid is incredibly low, but he's got buyback. He can just suicide, get the Raxus, get Mega Creeps for his team at this point. Maybe they go for Throne. LGD taking a lot of damage at their own Throne. They're going to have to get back in defense soon, and it looks like both teams backing things off here.
Oh, they're going to pick off the retreating heroes. That's the goal. Super going to work on Yao. Yao charging in, doesn't have his ult. He'll drop. He does have buyback, I believe, if he needs to. The low drone, entangle and Super. That's the game, gods. Entangle and Super. No buyback for him. No chance. Unless this throne dies, will there be a last-ditch Boots of Travel try and gank the throne action from DK?
Slider's alive. I think Slider, he can't go for the throne. He's just got to go try help out this fight, help out, deal, stall things up. Yet Burning, I mean, he's just sitting at the throne. There's nothing he can do. They lose Venomancer as well. Where does Slider go? He's going for the throne. He's going for the tier 4 towers. Burning just doesn't have the damage to support this, I think. And not to mention LGD can just TP back and deal with him. Then they've got the Keeper of the Light ultimate to bring heroes back into the fray. Burning gets the tower, but I don't think that's enough.
Oh, but it's buying a lot of time for them. Burning, sure, he might die, but this is Super's buyback was at 90 seconds. It's down to 60, and I think LGD weren't sure who should go back. All the heroes walking back. Speaking of going back, it's actually also Boots of Travel, which is an issue. DD has the money for them, hasn't bought them yet. Yao doesn't have a TP scroll. This is that late game inventory. We talked about it. Perhaps the most important resource after buybacks, and it actually works out in DK's favor. I really thought that might have been the game, but Burning goes for the gambit, draws them back, and the lack of TPs. LGD, they definitely bounce back a bit in that fight, but DK are hanging on. The good news is for DK, or for LGD, that the Queen of Pain buyback is back on cooldown for 3 minutes.
Yeah, Queen of Pain going to be alive for this next fight, so DK are still alive somehow. Speaking of late game inventories, Keeper of the Light, is this like a hard carry Keeper of the Light? Shiva's Guard as well, up 3.5k gold. Like, what am I seeing? This is a ridiculous amount of farm. 300 plus creep kills on a Keeper of the Light at this point in the game. It's the second highest on the Radiant team, more than the Brewmaster and Bounty Hunter now. So, I mean, there's a lot of farm going the way of LGD.
Insane. A little bit more even distribution of DK. The Aegis is going to respawn. Does anyone even have room for this anymore? Haster bottom should be denied by this QQQ Venomancer illusion. Not doing so yet. Look at the Roshan. Sylar is just a one-man wrecking crew. He's going to have an Abyssal Blade as well if he wants to. In comes Burning. Stun on everyone. Yao does get the Aegis. Cheese is on the floor. No idea who picked it up. The fight underway. Yao still has the ult. Not using it yet. Just going to try to get out of here with that Aegis. The defensive Shiva's the 4-step back onto Xiaowei. Shackle narrowly gonna miss, and DK go for the Roche steal. They don't get it, but what they do get is this top lane. Super's thinking about throne. There's no who can get back in time. Oh, it's Sylar who's here just barely in the nick of time. Arrives at the base. Everybody being chased back. DK really hoping to pick off stragglers. Oh, they get the Aegis, but still it feels like it's anybody's game with this throw being exposed and the glyph on cooldown.
And LGD have to be so freaking careful with these tier 4 towers not there. I mean, we saw Fumofu's team do it. The DK just go straight for the throne. With the DPS coming out from Queen of Pain, they've just got so much at their disposal that it's a scenario where LGD are going to have to be playing this really safe in late game. They can't go straight for the throne themselves with both tier 4 towers on DK's side having full HP. Even with the Aegis and Cheese, it's still going to be tough. Lion has the Cheese for his team. He's just getting sheeped up and killed. He's not going to be able to make much use of the sheep. The Brewmaster Aegis will be useful, especially considering he doesn't have the buyback gold and it's on cooldown. But LGD, they're going all top. They've got to try push as fast as possible. They need to push faster than Super can push mid, because Super is going for that counter push.
They have the creep. They have the creep equilibrium bottom. Yeah. They have it decently positioned mid. And Queen of Pain is a very strong mid-game pusher, but she doesn't have that AoE cleave of something like an Anti-Mage with a Battle Fury. This is going to be real tough for Super. I think he's got a man down. I think he's got a back. Maybe hope that the creeps pull a fast one on LGD. Time for a TP scroll check, and we see 2 pairs of Boots of Travel on the Keeper of the Light crucially, so he can bring a third back if he needs to. And even dying and buying back is another way to get home, so can get a little bit creative, but LGD forced a man down. They don't want to take that kind of a risk. They don't want to take that kind of a chance in a game this tight. Because, man, if you lose this game, how do you even emotionally recover for game number 2? For either team! For either team!
But I think LGD are making much smart decisions lately. I mean, you've got Sylar, who's now moved the Assault Crest, just made her. His Spirit Breath only has the Radiance, the Planewalker's Cloak, and the Vitality Booster. It's pure survivability and the Radiance, and the Assault Crest is essential in these team fights. So he's keeping on his main hero. He's got a Basher up as well. The Abyssal Blade, it could be a great way of locking down Queen of Pain. It's a more reliable stun, and then you get some Bashers on top of it. It's going to be tough for Queen of Pain to fight, and this is just the lone Druid doing the right-click damage. So LGD making some smart late-game decisions. DK, they're stalling really well, burning with that stall at bottom lane just being essential to their survival.
Oh, here comes the huge team fight. Yao jumps in. Where's the bash? Super. Actually, it's Xiao 8 who's going to work on him. The lone druid is running away. Kung Fu Panda, or chasing rather. Kung Fu Panda still surviving. It looks like this might be the end for DK. They're just getting assassinated. Too many BKBs. Too many hexes. The bash on burning. The bash. Oh no. QQQ next to line. Queen of Pain still in this fight. Did buy back. This is the last-ditch effort for Super. How many can he bring down? This is going to be thrown. This pair, he wants honey. He won't stop. He dies, but he gets the third lane of Rex, and all the lanes are pushed out. LGD's base is secure. GoDz, they've done it.
Oh,
they've claimed the third lane of Rex. LGD is back in business, baby.
Wow. I mean, I question LGD's ability to win a game when DK got off to a fast, good start, but LGD playing from behind like absolute champions here, and what a fantastic game. 90 minutes exactly on the dot of pure epicness.
You know, 41k net worth on the lone druid. Absolutely ridiculous amounts of farm. LGD win a whopper, a barn burner, just a sensational performance after what has to be reiterated, a pretty bad start. Xiao 8 was doing horribly in that top lane, died 3 times. Let's not forget the struggles the middle lane had, where Yao got ganked. DK supports played perfectly in the early game. We thought perhaps the Bounty Hunter was a trap against DK as the mid game progressed, but Xiao 8 made all the right calls for his team in the late game. The captain doing it, and of course the whole team pulling their weight. In the end, GoDz, they're going to take it. 90 minutes on the dot, an hour and a half of sensational Dota from both teams. So LGD
got game 2.
Got game 2. They march into game 2 with a 1-0 victory. It feels like 10 games in one, though.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have game number 2 for you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and stay tuned, because we got at least one more. Hopefully it'll be 2. Although I think for the sake of my voice, perhaps 1 would be a better case. But let's see what happens. Game 2 coming up soon. Their new house in Shanghai yet. I could be wrong about that. I know they were planning to, and that the pings are apparently significantly better, although the accommodation's not as nice as the Beijing house where they've been. Pings seem pretty even, so must just be a PC issue or some sort of individual thing, since I expect they're all playing on LAN together. Alright, bad start for LGD, GoDz. That's pretty fair to say. Bounty Hunter shut down Yao, being zoned out. He does have his bot on his boots, so not horribly behind by any reason, but just not having a fun time mid. Is it all up to Super, or are there other things that LGD can be doing to kind of stabilize and get back into this game? Not Super, Sylar, I mean.
It's Yao. Oh, I don't think it's all up to Sylar. I mean, Sylar's just going to keep on farming and doing what he's doing now. Just keep on doing his best to out-farm heroes like Slider, Queen of Pain, not miss a single creep. I'd say it's all up to Yao, this mid-Brewmaster. He's the only hero for this LGD side which can really change the pace of this game. Bounty Hunter, if he was level 3, level 4, and could maybe go gank some lanes. I mean, even a level 3 bounty hunter can poke at mid lane, poke at the Queen of Pain, help out the team, but he's level 1. He's not got any chance of really contributing for a good while. Yao, the only hero for LGD with all levels and potential for ganks around the map. Keeper of the Light's a bit too passive to do much. Lion needs his levels, so I'd say this game at this point is resting in Yao's shoulders.
Burning has his Midas, by the way. The Gloves of Haste are on the... Okay, never, it says he has 1,900 net worth. Ah, that's counting the items he already has. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be... It looks like more of like a 3.5, 4 minute Midas. That is still insane. I mean, a fast Midas timing is like, what, 5, 6 minutes? Maybe if you get a first blood and you're farming really well, then you could have it a little bit sooner. But with the courier kill and the first blood and almost perfect... Well, not perfect, but pretty good last hitting. 5 CS per minute. And he's got one more wave to work with, so I think it's actually going to be closer to 6 CS per minute once this is done. This is tough. With Burning having this fast of a Midas, it means he's going to have all his core items up in a timely fashion. If you're farming normally and not at a really high level, he's still going to have pretty early treads. We've also seen he goes for cost-efficient items after the Midas. He doesn't try to rush something big like a Blink. He'll get a Drums instead or a Bracer, just so that he can start diving and fighting immediately. So it's not just the hero that's a little bit different for Burning, but I feel like it's also the way he's itemizing him and playing him that's quite a bit different.
Yeah, it
compared
really
to what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's complete opposite of the past. If you go back 2 months TI2, it's like, okay, let's get Burning Antimates. Let's get him Lone Druid. Let's watch him get a fast Battle Fury and just farm. No, don't even go... When he plays Antimates, he doesn't focus on coming to engagements. It's purely on pushing out lanes and split pushing, getting up huge items while his team just do whatever they do. So it's a completely different style of play from Burning, and it's really a sight to see that he can just so easily adapt his playstyle into this more sort of ergonomic style of play where he's getting these cost-effective items, he's getting much more involved. He's been in the majority of the DKs. I think as far as all their players goes, he's in more kills than any player on his team as far as kill involvement. Yeah,
I think he does have the high... It's an even higher kill participation rate than Zhou. And Zhou has been played incredibly well, but... You know, the thing with IG is they often just win the game before he even finishes farming his basic items. In a lot of their more one-sided affairs, that was the case. Not the case at all in the Orange series, but before that in the group stages. So, at this point, Super's having a good start. Probably going to be able to control the runes this game, especially with the amount of pressure that these supports are applying towards mid. And it looks like SC or DD is going to be rotating in towards the middle lane, so this probably is just a temporary measure to make sure, or to try to limit the damage onto Yao. But do they have... I mean, can DK... It seems like DK can just afford to leave 2 heroes top, and at this point, with Burning having a good start, with the Sentry Wards, MMY and Burning probably can just keep them down by themselves, which allows them to do things like dual lane mid, or just do a ton of pulling up top, and... This may force DD to rotate away. First blood, Shao 8 will drop. DK do it again. A first blood within seconds of a bounty hunter entering the lane. Boy, oh boy, I don't know if LGD watched those replays.
Well, LG, I mean, it kind of goes to show they're not a team who were entirely sure what they want to do. It's Zhao 8 back on the bounty hunter. DD and Zhao have been switching roles throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's Zhao 8 back on the off lane, and gets picked off there as sort of unnecessarily. He knows he's up against the trial and he should expect sentries and Duster, but does get caught out there, and with this, he's going to have a really tough time finding any openings, any way of getting XP and farm, and you mentioned Burning loves his Midas. Well, he's going to get a very fast one now with that first blood.
Yeah, I won't be surprised at all if I see it, and you kind of need it if you want to go later on in this game. Otherwise, there's no way you can keep up with the Lone Druid's farm rate. And of course, when Burning plays this slaughter, it's not really like a traditional one position. It's he'll farm for a certain amount. And Super's gonna kill the courier. Blinks in, 1 auto attack. Yao miss handling of the courier, and off the bat, DK scored not just a first blood, but also a courier kill. GoDz, it seems like they're showing maybe some nerves in this game.
Absolutely, I mean, and that's more gold going to Burning's Midas. He's now already up to 1k gold in just 2 minutes. It could be one of the fastest Midas you've ever seen on a slaughter. And Jesus. I mean, yeah, things starting to fall apart a bit for LGD. Bounty Hunter, he's managed to pull a creep wave all the way from the top lane, trying to bring it back to his tower where he can farm safely, but it's really struggle town right now for LGD.
Xiaowei can't even get this Invis rune, and in fact, they might be able to kill him. They have a Sentry Ward. Oh, this is bad. If Xiaowei dies again, Dust is pop. Split Earth to follow. 2 kills on the Bounty Hunter and a Courier kill. DK already with an outrageous lead. And where is the response? They're not getting one, because look at what ROTK is doing. He's just playing extremely safe on the Suicide lane, farming the Ancients, and this is the benefit of being a 600 range hero. You can do this from level 1. You don't need to stack them. You don't need to get a Soul Ring like a Beastmaster does, and spam axes quite a few times. So he's getting safe experience, safe farm, and the good news for LGD is Sylar is free farming, and he's actually out farming Bernie by just a touch so far.
Yeah, Sylar's got to be, I mean, regardless of what LGD did, Lone Druid was always going to be farming here. I think the support heroes for LGD are just not mobile enough. They can't really gank and alleviate any of this pressure on the other lanes. And here comes DK mid lane. Venomancer with an Invis rune. And this could be bad for Yao. He's tanky, but I just don't feel he's going to be tanky enough for this.
Yeah, this is going to be trouble. He does have a point in Drunken Brawler, so there's a chance he'll get away, but this is not going to be an easy fight. Now, also keep in mind, if he gets a clap off on either of these heroes under the tower, especially the Venomancer, that clap has a really powerful slow. We could see it turn the other way. Even if Yao doesn't die, though, it's just about the pressure. He's being pressured on the top lane, the Bounty Hunter. It's not just pressure. He's basically being thrown into a nuclear reactor and compressed or something. It's way beyond that for him. And they're shutting down 2 of these lanes, so they're winning those 2 in that sense. And they're getting something out of that Suicide lane, where so far Xiaowei, he's only got 62 experience. He's actually falling quite a bit behind, even though the lane is pushing towards him.
Yeah, he's really struggling a bit here, and he needs to just get whatever XP he can at this top lane. I mean, for Xiaowei not getting any levels here, he's just been sort of poking around the jungle, and they've really just kept him out of lane. The sentries, the dust, everything about this from DK, they know how they want to deal with the Bounty. They've got a clear set plan in mind, and LGD can't really be set entirely. I mean, the Brewmaster early picks seem to be part of what they wanted to do here, but it just, with the Bounty Hunter offlane getting this badly shut down, it now hurts the other lanes as well. It allows Venomancer to roam mid, possibly get a kill here. It'll be close, I think. Brewmaster has a lot of HP, but regardless, I mean, you mentioned it's just pressure. It forces Yao out of the lane, it forces him to go heal up, maybe do some more bottle crowing, and Super just gets a bit of a stranglehold over this mid lane.
Tough position to be in. We have a bit of a pause here. It looks like QQQ is reconnected, disconnected a few times. We might as well check pings while we have a moment. Expect DK to have slightly higher pings. I don't think they've moved to that bottom lane and not get as much experience as you would like. Yeah,
I think they want to maybe stick with this dual lane setup a bit, for at least for the time being. Venomancer just a great hero to have to pressure Brewmaster, like we're seeing at mid. Even if they don't get the kill now, he just stays around, keeps on pressuring. Leshrac can get levels, and once Leshrac has maybe level 2 Edict, even maybe waits for level 5, that's when they can just go push this top lane. Bounty Hunter can do nothing to defend it. So Venomancer going to pressure mid for a bit, then they return top to start pushing away this top lane, because I think what DK want to do is just get 2 very fast towers at top. The tier 1 will drop once they have Edict, at level 2 probably, then they can get that tier 2 not long after, unless LGD rotate heroes like Keeper of the Light top. Maybe that's what SC's thinking now, head top, because the push is going to be coming soon with the Leshrac.
No idea what the players are saying, but they continue to have some issues with getting connected into this game and hopefully having ping that they're happy with. Just an interesting moment. I think this is going to tell us a lot about what kind of a team LGD is now. If they can come back from this, or at least make it a really decent back-and-forth game. Sure, they've got a great mid-game lineup. They have heroes that can handle the game well, but you got to figure, well, the blink in on Yao. Yao might be dead. He needs to evade a lot more than what he's evading. This is not going to cut it. Oh, no luck for this guy. I don't even know if he evaded a single auto attack there, and he will drop. Probably was going to die anyway. You can't count on, the 10%, but hey, not his best day, and, well, he gets shut down, Bounty Hunter shut down. It feels like it is going to be coming down to these supports to make a big impact.
Yeah, a lot of LGDs here is just in a bit of trouble here. Xiaowei finally gets his level 2 at top lane, and here comes Venomancer, says, okay, got 1 kill, let's go back top. Level 2 Plague Wards are up. Level 2, he's gone for level 2 Splitter, so about to be once he's level 4, he'll have that second point in Edict, and then this top lane will just crumble very fast. Bounty Hunter Xiaowei just already looking to sort of scout out these runes and almost abandon this top lane.
Look at how fluidly DK transitions. As soon as the Keeper of the Light was spotted rotating towards mid, immediately ROTK leaves the Ancients and comes into the lane to get some levels, get some farm. He knew it wasn't safe before. Now he's level 2, so I suppose it's a little bit harder to kill him. Although he did have Wind Run at level 1, if I remember correctly. So either way, just the instant that he sees an opening bottom, as soon as he spots the rotation, the pressure mid creates freedom for RTK. It's not just what DK is doing in one lane, it's how they understand the impact it has on the other lanes and react immediately to take advantage.
Yeah, and D ward in the lane ward, even with it being further down the lane, the sentry ward does catch it out in that bottom lane, and with that, he can just get in range, maybe power shot one creep, get one creep here or there. Line doesn't know when he's power shotting from fog, so it's got him. I mean, he's only got 5 creep kills, but that's maybe 3-4 creep kills less than what more than what he'd have without that sentry ward there.
Courier respawns. It has boots and wards on it. I don't know if it had either of those when it was delivering. I think not, since it died on the way back. Yao does have his boots, does have his bottle. He's getting close to level 6. Now, the question is, what can he make happen with this ultimate? They don't really have much setup for his ult, and I almost feel like DK can just run away when they see him.
Yeah, he's the sole initiator. He's got to get at that blink dagger as fast as possible. The Keeper of the Light does not really offer much in terms of initiation or some kind of follow-up disables or slows. It's only the Lion they've really got, but Lion's not a hero they can afford to have running in, looking to set things up, and I think it's hard. It's going to be really hard for LGD. It's going to be all about panicking up that fast blink dagger, but he still needs other items before that. I mean, you're looking at maybe magic wand, his phase boots, something else first, and it's going to be an uphill battle for LGD.
Oh, Xiaoweight's caught. This is looking bad for him. Sprint for Burning. Level 2 already needs that crush. He will find it. Amplify damage, giving them vision. Now the splitter to follow. Xiaoweight dies for a 3rd time. And honestly, the real trap may not be picking the Invoker as LGD. It may be picking the Bounty Hunter against DK. They seem to have all the answers for this heroes, and they're doing it not just against any team, but against LGD, a very solid team for the most part. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 1 of our second and our final round of 6 match, I guess you could say, for the top 4 teams in the groups, are coming out of the groups. DK versus LGD, GoDz, an all-Chinese affair, but look at what we're seeing already. DK, they're going for the Slardar for Burning, they're going for the Queen of Pain for Super. They are playing aggressive, we're gonna fight you head-on and kill you kind of heroes.
Yeah, really strong sort of selection of heroes, especially in response to LGD, who picked up a Brewmaster. Slardar actually can cope, he can tank it up, he can move around, he doesn't get sort of completely locked down by a hero like Brewmaster. The Cyclone can be annoying, but this is a DK lineup which we've seen in the past and has really worked out well for them. Leshrac, in the hands of Dai generally, has just been very well played in support, but LGD, key point, pick Xiaoweight as Keeper of the Light. We're going to be seeing that here probably as a support play with the Bounty Hunter in the offlane. DD's sort of been switching over to that role. But I like what LGD have done. They haven't gone for a carry as of yet, picking up a Brewmaster very early on. It's a hero who was just so popular for such a long time, and he phased out. He didn't get nerfed. I mean, apart from maybe Black Hole finally getting to hit his primal splits, but it's a hero who is definitely viable, and I think he does fit well against the DK playstyle.
Yeah, it does. It really counters aggression, whether it's mono-leak onto Slardar, whether it's just preventing the push coming out from the Leshrac. This is a great hero to try and blunt the aggression from DK in the middle game. Let's see if they can actually pull it off. As far as the rest of the draft goes, I gotta point out, there's a Naga Siren in the pool. Neither team opted to pick or ban this yet. And you gotta figure, that's something LGD will consider. Already having Keeper of the Light, that would give them a very powerful tri-lane here. Speaking of other strong supports, which both of these teams need at least one of, there's a twin-headed dragon, neither picked nor banned.
Yeah, that's sort of been one of those really top pick support heroes. But DK opt for the Leshrac. I think they favored the Leshrac here just because of the sheer pushing power early on with the Edict. If they want to get ahead, they want to be able to increase that lead quickly. Jakiro can't quite do that the same way a Leshrac can, where you just sort of snowball out of control, taking down towers. Jakiro's just more like reliable, rock-solid support with the short cooldown Ice Path, pretty much non-existent mana cost. You can always be spamming that. DK, they know they are the stronger early game team, and if they get ahead, they want to increase that. So they go for the Leshrac. They may look for some other sort of aggressive support heroes. They can still get the Jakiro, like you say, and it's a hero which may be their secondary support here.
I'm very curious how both teams are going to complete the draft. Of course, if anyone wanted to go for something a little bit more push-oriented, something like a Lone Druid is available. You notice sort of the new flavor of the month, initiating carry, has been banned the Dragon Knight. This is a hero that can give Slardar fits, tanky, even with the amplified damage, still does a decent job of surviving against that. Plus, he's got that level 16 Dragon form, and once he gets it up, well, it gets a lot harder for Slardar to have an impact, constantly being kited and slowed. It will be banned, it won't be available, and now we're going to see what LGD go for, and it's a Lion. They pick up an extremely strong support here, lots of lockdown, but squishy, needs levels, and a hero that if he doesn't have a good start is just going to be total food for DK.
Yeah, it needs to have that good start. And this is kind of the alternative. They ban out the Shadow Shaman, knowing that LGD love to run these sort of heavy disable supports who maximize the pools, get XP, get some farm. They don't really have a great lane presence until they get some levels. Lion does a very similar thing without the pushing power of a Shadow Shaman, but he has much more killing potential once he gets to level 6. A Finger of Death, receiving some damage buffs, a much longer cooldown, but that's kind of what you want against Slardar. You want to be able to burst him down as quickly as possible. If he's too afraid to run in because of Lion having a Finger of Death up, then great. Slardar is so much more limited in what he can do. Positioning, though, for Lion is going to be very hard against burst damage from Queen of Pain and Slardar. And it's a pick which is risky, but if it works for LGD, it can really shine here.
Yeah, I'm really glad you bring that up, and it's going to be up to DDC or Shadowweight, probably Shadowweight Keeper of the Light, which would be the DDC line. Generally plays that 5 position for the team, which means a line that's not even the secondary support. He would be the primary one, so we'll see. Maybe they'll switch those roles up just a little bit. It has been Shadowweight generally getting a bit more farm than DDC, and, well, Lion, I hear you'd love to get some items on the mid-game, like that Shadow Shaman, items like a Blink Dagger, even just something defensive, and they go for the Sylar Lone Druid. This is a pretty scary death ball. You've tracked to make everyone chase better. You've Panda and Lion to kind of lock heroes down. Keeper of the Light to punish clumping up, to punish tower diving to a certain extent. And now you get your tanky front line carry that scales pretty well. Early in the laning stage is rather killable, but what do you think about this Lone Druid pick? Is this LGD still stuck sort of in the past, in the mindset of the 6.74B metagame, or is there a way to make this Lone Druid fit in against an aggressive lineup like what DK has?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, in some ways it is somewhat stuck in the old path, but that was where LGD shined. That was where LGD just dominated teams left, right, and center until finally they got met up with Na'Vi and then narrowly fell against IG at TI2. They've mixed in some of the LGD of old, but they've combined it with some new flavors. The Bounty Hunter pick, the aggressive Brewmaster. They've got the support to really shine in this current metagame, especially the Keeper of the Light pick, which I really like to see here. And I think Sylar, I mean, it's Sylar on the Lone Druid. It's his best hero. I'd say that is his best hero, hands down. And that is something which LGD want to just get their hands on. So Venomancer, the last pick for DK, opting just for a safe support hero. Not going for the Jakiro, but Venomancer does give them slightly more map control with the Plague Wards and just a slightly stronger lane presence, more aggressive as well with that Gale.
Yeah, and as far as the teams go, let's do a proper introduction for all the players, and just going to remind you to double-check your in-game mic. I know it's been on the fritz for some of us, but it looks good for me. Signature for Burning at this point. He's starting off with Dust of Appearance. He's done this. He did this previously the last time he laid against the Bounty Hunter. Speaking of that Bounty Hunter, if I recall correctly, there was a first blood given up immediately. This was on, they were on the Radiant side instead of the Dire, but pretty much the same thing. Kung Fu Panda going to be handling that Windrunner pick, and that would be 357, I believe. Or wait, no, who is that? Is that ROTK? ROTK playing the Windrunner. Then we have QQQ or 357 on the Venomancer. Sentry Ward's already picked up. So Sentry Wards and Dust really want to shut down Bounty Hunter. That's something I'd say DK have done a great job of when they played against that hero, is shutting him down completely. Super on the solo mid, Queen of Pain, and MMY as the Leshrac. For the moment, you expect the offlane Windrunner, but maybe are they thinking about something more aggressive?
Well, I think they may be thinking about offlane. I love what... Look at this, Lone Druid sent his bear way up top, and it's actually going to get caught out here. I don't know if they can do enough damage to deal with it, but he's trying to do that to help the Bounty Hunter at top lane, maybe pulling the creep wave away. And DK are going to go on a big chase trying to deal with this, but they don't have the damage. They just want to prevent it from getting to that top lane to pull the creep wave down. Similar how you play the off-lane Lone Druid. You can do that with a Bounty Hunter and just have the Lone Druid send his bear up there.
Had a bit of a lag spike there. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. I didn't really catch too much action with the bear. I saw the initial engagement. It does escape, which is the big thing. So he's still got the cooldown available. Could use it to help pull for the Bounty Hunter, like you said, but no longer going to be an option. I want to point out this lane ward from LGD. This is something we've seen LGD do a couple of games now. They don't like to put their lane ward up near the tower, worried about it getting dewarded, so they started sort of recessing it deeper into the lane. Somewhat similar, although not as extreme from DK, and Look at the trap being set already. The Sentry Ward is placed. Shadowweight has to be so careful. It's actually not a Shadowweight keeping the life. He might get caught, though. There's the Gale to start, and the Splitter to follow. Shadowweight is so royally screwed. On top of it, the Slither and Crush, and this should be a